Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents The Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560, toll free for Dade and Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
In Lakeland. Peter.
Yeah, Randy.
Peter.
How you doing?
I'm all right, darling. How you?
Got that Manny fired, huh?
I got that manified.
Why'd you get fired, you hypocritical?
Oh, it's you, man. Why does Manny Crank call the station? What is his problem?
It's Friday, you bastard.
Jennifer Lopez, you've got huge buns. Hiding under it eclipses the sun. There are parts of you that will never tan. Nothing grows under your giant can. Jennifer Lopez, we're stunned. No way it could grow again. We can't believe that your butt's widening. Let us know when it stops growing. Wow!
10:02 at 560 WQM. By the way, remember that record, Willie and the Hand Job by Johnny Otis? Monday, Boca Brian's got a great parody that's called Fat Boy and the Hand Job. But at any rate, what? It's going to be great. So speaking of that, lo and behold, since I'm always about 50 yards ahead of the rest of the pack, the Rat Pack, open up my Herald this morning. I'm flipping through it and the paper too. And Susan Miller Degnan, what kind of a name is that? She's got an article in here called Student Body, and it's right there on the sports page, okay? All you people that were jonesing to see Jeff Popovich naked, or pretty close to it, don't have to go to Abercrombie & Fitch and get the catalog today, because on page 10 in the sport, what? 10 in the sports section, there it is. There's the cover of the Abercrombie & Fitch Summer Dreams catalog. And I'll guarantee you, it'll make a lot of people in this audience dream when they see that, and they won't all be women. But nevertheless, then here's a big piece on the Popoviches. And not only is University of Miami safety Jeff Popovich a hell of a guy, a whale of a guy, but he's got a 3.6 GPA in biomedical engineering. He's a genius. He's smart. He's hot and he's smart. How do you like that? He holds for kicks and extra points, plays on the punt, block, and kickoff coverage units. He also threw a 15-yard touchdown pass to tight end Bubba Franks off a fake field goal against Pittsburgh in '97, ran back a fumble for a touchdown during his freshman season, and returned a fake field goal for a touchdown last season. And if anybody thinks that they're going to mess with this guy because he's a male model and he's almost naked on the Abercrombie & Fitch catalog, guess what? He was the 97 UM Strength Athlete of the Year, meaning he will kick the living snot out of you, is what it means. That's quite an article here about him and his brother, Doug, who turns out to be 4 years older. Well, they still could be identical twins, couldn't they? Don't you think?
No.
No. Well, and even it says Ivan Mercer, a UM tight end. What is this thing about tight ends, you know? Transfer from Orange Coast Junior College in Costa Mesa, California, is in the same catalog, which I don't have with me, by the way. I'll have to bring it in Monday and take a peek. It says the 6'7", 230-pound blue-eyed blonde Mercer, who can be found on page 50 with a female draped over his back, had no idea Popovich would show up separately for the modeling shoot on Isla Morada last February. The modeling shoot,
Squirt.
They were shooting it. And the pictures, too. Which leads me to wonder, you know, unlike the wrestling profession, which I think we pretty much got that down to a science now, that whole wrestling thing, you know, high school, college, professional, 99% faggots, you know. But I think that the thing with male models, I mean, I'm not saying I don't know. I have no idea whether knowing that Jeff Popovich and his brother Doug and Ivan Mercer or any of these guys, we don't know, nor is it really anybody's business. But nevertheless, one can only assume that someone as manly as Jeff Popovich would have to be strikingly virile. Wouldn't you assume that?
No.
You sure you would? Come on.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Huh? So maybe we have people who have been into modeling, like male models, who are heterosexual. Maybe we'll hear from some today. You think so?
No.
Yeah. Come on. They can't all be maricones, can they? I mean, we already ran down a few weeks ago about 4,000 other occupations where there are no straight people in it. There's got to be some straight people out there somewhere. This thing about the umpires, by the way, finally, after all these years, what is it, about 100 years, finally Dan LeBastard wrote something that makes sense.
Oh!
Nice going, Danny boy. Can't wait to hear you on 1900 on the dial, too. Dan LeBastard says, rebuttal to umpires, why wait to quit? And he goes on at great length to say, and he's right, absolutely correct. Bunch of arrogant, out of shape, fat, disgusting pigs, led by that asshole Richie Phillips. The Major League umpires are some of the probably the worst officials of any sport in the world. With a cocky, hysterical attitude, taking no crap from anybody else, but they can dish out all they want. It wouldn't surprise me if you could read lips what was really said to that Roberto Alomar a couple of years ago, where that spitting incident probably incited him to do it, and you probably would have spat in his face too. So who the hell needs these guys? And I heard a little dog this morning talking about the fact that he could go in there and do just as well. And I agree. And I have no idea whether he's got any experience doing it or not, but I guarantee he could do just as well. Because you watch a ball game and, you watch the strike zones of these umpires. You watch these plays that aren't even remotely close at a base. And calls that are just, how difficult is it? Calling the balls and strikes, that requires a lot of attention during the course of a game. But working the bases or the foul lines, how difficult is that? And they still can't get it right a very high, unacceptable percentage of the time. Arrogant and obnoxious, and a detriment to an already desperate sport, to a dying sport. So maybe we might get a call or two about that before the day is over. Speaking of desperate,
Roy!
Saw your buddy on TV the other night, by the way. He was going ba-beep, ba-boop, like that, and his finger is still cut.
He said he's innocent.
A pierce of his jurors? You better quit while you're ahead, mister. And by the way, you ain't no Jeff Popovich, I'll tell you that. Joe Rose told me he saw you naked in the showers many times and you ain't no Jeff Popovich. That's what he said. Forget about OJ. Once in your life, get some different material, okay? He's old meat, okay? He's stale old meat. Get something new and exciting, like that instrument. And by the way, you owe us. Boy, he wore that thing down to a frazzle at the big black thing that we had here a couple of weeks ago. There was our good buddy
Roy
Foster, speaking of hot bulb. Oh, and by the way, there's something in this article I found very amusing. It says, Popovich has no problems finding friends. I bet he doesn't. If you look like that, you wouldn't have trouble finding friends either, including probably some you don't want. And it says, coach Butch Davis has constantly showered praise on Popovich. Well, no, I thought it was going to say showered with him. Even on days where there ain't no game, which I find very unusual. No game, no workout, no nothing. But just, hey, let's go take a shower together. Which I find very unusual for a real rednecky guy like Butch Davis. Don't you think so?
Uh-huh.
Very suspect. Here's a mobile in Jupiter. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, these umpires. I want to know what other occupations, when you resign, you get a $15 million severance. I thought severance is if you get fired.
Yeah.
But they're going to be paying them up to like $400,000 for the most experience each.
They got one hell of a deal, man.
I tell you.
They're making $75 to $225,000 a year. A very sizable number of them are fat and out of shape and disgusting. They're a bunch of pigs, and they're always whining and complaining. And they're doing a half-assed job to top it all off.
And they're actually under the impression that when they form this whatever new corporation, it's going to be that baseball's actually going to deal with it.
I hope that they play hardball with these guys and then live up to their word and let them all walk away and just say, goodbye, we'll hire new umpires. I hope they do.
There's college umpires, minor league umpires. It's not that difficult a game to call, really.
That's right. And especially as good as these guys are doing. It's not that tough.
Thanks.
Have a great day, pal.
All right.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We're still waiting. We're still waiting on those male models out there, all you heterosexuals. I bet you we don't hear from one during the course of the day today. Because that whole thing with male models, it's always been known as a pursuit, And that's why a lot of good-looking guys, by the way, are terrified to go into that because they assume that everybody will think that they're because they're doing that. By the way, it's kind of amusing in this article about the Popovich boys that talk about the parents' attitudes. And the grandparents, Jack and Dee Sterling of Pompano Beach, are boasting a lot these days. But Grandma did send the parents a note saying that she and her husband would have approved more had the boys pulled up their swim trunks a little. Yeah, I don't think they pulled them down, Grandma. I think that was the idea.
I like the wee-wee.
Telling you I didn't sleep last night 'cause you didn't bathe last night. You really stank last night, 'cause you're strong enough to blow a skunk down, strong enough to knock a buzzard off a wagon. My life will be hell till you lose that mask. You're strong enough to make me gag. You're strong enough, even deodorant pads aren't strong enough to clear your thinking off. Feel the pain of the wall.
10:15 at 560 WQAM. By the way, Lou in Broward, quit wasting our fax paper, okay? Ain't interested in any of this swill that you're sending. Just amazing to me, the number of people we have out there that keep sending us all this crap, and I do mean absolute, positively unadulterated crap, in which I have no interest positively whatsoever, and never will, but nevertheless. God, here's a mobile in Deerfield. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going this morning?
Okay.
Glad to hear you had a great vacation, but a couple things here. The first thing is I agree with the article you just read. The baseball umpires need to go. They just quit, get out of our lives. But this whole problem is revolting back to the idiotic commissioner just pumping sunshine, has no clue in anything, and he just needs to go.
Now, this isn't his fault. This has gone on long before Bud Selig was commissioner of baseball. This arrogant, obnoxious attitude's gone on for many, many, many years. And, Richie Phillips and this umpires union are the strongest and most obnoxious. I mean, I just don't understand where they come off getting this kind of power, because most of them are, as I said, out of shape, and even the ones that are in shape, most of them are incompetent anyway. They do a half-assed job.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but it's, these salaries are out of control. I mean, not just the umpires, but baseball in general. It's just headed down a disastrous road, and just look what happened to, the construction of his new ballpark the other day. Collapsed, and that's basically where baseball's headed. It's headed down.
Yeah, maybe it was symbolic. Maybe there's an omen there.
But on sign off, I'd like to call the whole Bush family a bunch of douchebags, and Al Goldstein for president.
All right.
Have a good day.
Okay. Al Goldstein for president, then he won't have to suck around to be on anybody's radio or TV show anymore. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Tamarack. Hello.
Morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
A couple of things before I start with my comments. George did a very good job while you were on vacation.
Yes.
I hope you had a very good time.
Yes, I did.
Now,
You're
what
right
a
about
shame.
that overhead, by the way.
What
Yes.
a shame Bud Selig wasn't under that crane when that thing came down, eh?
And
crush him over. Well, maybe.
Okay, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. See, I'm assuming you said a couple of things, then I'm waiting for the grade A material, and does it ever come?
No.
No. Just isn't there. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes?
Did you watch Tom Green last night?
Oh, yeah, Tom Green. Not one of the all-time great episodes, but it had its moments, yes.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Did you
Especially the thing where he took all the kids home.
Yeah,
Did you notice what a bunch of pussies those kids were, by the way?
I know.
Oh, yeah, you're going to wake up my mom and dad, and I'm going to take some real crap, and oh, gee, it's 3 in the morning. And that was...
Yeah, they think it's real funny till it comes to them.
Right, that's right.
The one guy, his parents were cool about it, though.
The ones that were in bed.
Right.
And let the guy take the shower, and they hit his clothes, and then he had to take the shower mat and wrap it around his ass.
Have you been keeping up with the real world at all?
I don't like that. I'm not into it.
Yeah, it is lackluster. But did you see the Tom Green show? I don't know if you caught it because you were in Amsterdam, but when Tom Green and his sidekick guy were French kissing?
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny.
He's great.
I just hope he can keep it up.
The one where he was going in the beginning of the show last night on his his grandfather's electric cart, and he was going through the supermarket knocking all the crap down.
Incredible.
Every one of his bits, just about every one of them ends up either with the people screaming and yelling, "Get out of here before we call the cops," or after they call the cops. And then he got that. How about the security bitch that started beating on him?
Oh, that's
the
hilarious.
big black security bitch that started beating the crap out of him at the amusement park. That was great.
I still love the one where he's riding the cow into the produce market.
Yeah.
Because his cow's hungry.
Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
It really is.
And that, like I said, that second guy that starts doing the cow's udder looks like he had a lot of practice.
I'll tell you, I there's not a show on TV that I just sit around and laugh out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Well, one thing about Tom Green, you just look at him and you start laughing.
It really is. I'll tell you,
facial thing.
It's the second best show next to yours, Neil.
And God bless you.
All right, take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Okay, one call on the board. It's going to be another one of those days today. Gee, I'm feeling pretty damn good. I'm feeling good enough to get up and get out of here. I got things to do. You know, I got important stuff to do because my TV went on the fritz a couple of days ago, my big Sony XBR TV. And I went over to, and they know me very well, always take good care of me at place. But at any rate, got sucked into buying a Hitachi, which they delivered this morning, and although I haven't had an opportunity to really sit down and really set it up properly and examine it, I think I'm going to be really depressed. Although luckily the Sony XBR was still under warranty, and they'll be fixing it one day next week, but nevertheless. See, a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't you just have them come and repair it? Why didn't I do that? You know, I have alternate TVs in the house. I could have schlepped out there in the living room and just watched for a couple of days and roughed it until they fixed the Sony XBR. My first Hitachi TV, Hitachi, whatever. I thought they made like little grills, little portable grills. I think they ought to stick to that. I think I'm going to be real bitterly disappointed with this set. But nevertheless, they take real good care of me but it's just that, you know, this ain't no Sony XBR, which they don't carry anymore at Mart. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
A heterosexual X model. What do you want to know?
Well, I mean, just what do you mean? What do I want to know?
You're asking for
I
callers.
want to know if there are heterosexual X models, and you're saying yes. Were you the only one?
I was in your studio about a long time ago. I left a headshot.
You left a headshot?
Squirt.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah, we've had a hell of a time getting a stain off the wall.
Yeah. Now most of them are, you know, you know what I got out of the business because I was on the B list. And I think that list has to do with heterosexual. You know, you're getting jobs based on who you know and who you blow.
In other words, you weren't swinging it in the right direction.
I think that's about it. I did a couple local cable commercials and I did a little bit of print work, but most of them were flamers. And I was pretty.
I think it's about time we broke that mold, don't you? I mean, if a big macho guy like Jason Taylor of the Dolphins can come out like he did a couple of days ago with that calendar, if he can do it, and if a guy like Jeff Popovich, who's the strength athlete of the year at UM 2 years ago, if he can do it.
No, they're out there. They're just few and far between.
Got too many insecure guys that are afraid that everybody's going to point at him and go like, he's a whatever.
I was comfortable with my sexuality. I didn't give a crap.
Yeah.
I didn't care because to me it's just like a girl. If you're hitting on a girl and she doesn't want you to bother her, she say, hey, no,
just say
no.
Yeah, no,
thanks,
thank
but
you.
no thanks.
Right.
So if a guy's hitting on you, it's the same. I put myself in the female position. Hey, thanks, but no thanks.
Of course, that's another thing I wonder. A lot of when you're dealing with calendars now, when you're dealing with calendars with young women on it, you know that, well, I don't know. Maybe there are a lot of lesbians looking at those too. But
a lot of them think, for some reason, a lot of the gay males think they can get you to cross over, play for the other team. But
No, I'm not talking about that. But I'm just saying I think that there are a lot of straight guys that are concerned about posing like naked or close to it because they're afraid that most of the people who are going to be looking at that are going to be gay males as opposed to women.
Well,
I don't know how many women are out there buying up calendars with Jeff Popovich and Jason Taylor.
Look how many.
And Steve Eisner.
Look how many straight males pose in Playgirl, and what's their biggest circulation? Gay men.
Right.
But straight men go in there; they don't care, right?
They go in there.
They pose.
They tread where others fear to.
If I stayed busy and got a lot of work out of it, I'd still be in it. But it was just it was all right. It got and I was a babe magnet. So sometimes I played the femme because they just hover around gay guys because it was the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to play the part.
The Austin Powers part.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
All right, Uncle Neil, take care.
See ya. Okay, there you go. There's one guy that's got a couple of cajones, or at least maybe one. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing today?
Okay, sir.
Hey, I got a small dish at my house. You sold me on that about a couple years ago. It's the best thing. The picture is just like almost being right there.
Yeah.
It's so clear.
They're raving about this HD TV, which, you can go out and spend $6 or $10 for one of those sets. But what's the point? Because there's no programming available anyway. And I have never seen I've never seen the HD TV picture, but I'm hard-pressed to see how you can get a much clearer picture than you get on a small dish.
Yeah, I've got
It's
the
pretty damn
Sony.
good.
I've got a Sony like you, and it's got this S video jack in
Right.
the back.
Uh-huh.
And when I use that with the digital or with the satellite dish,
It's
it
scary.
makes it even clearer.
Right.
And but I heard you yesterday. A guy called in about getting one of those cards.
The illegal card, yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those about 6 months ago after about a year and a half, and it's been working great. I've been watching everything. I got all the movie shows, the direct, all of it.
Great. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Oh, I'm sorry, Neil.
No, that's okay.
Hey, you have a great day, buddy.
And back to you.
All right, thank you.
Did you hear anything he just said?
No.
I didn't hear it, no. What? Hey, listen, more power to them, okay? Like I've told you a billion times, if they gave you the stuff that you wanted, most of us are honest enough we would pay for it. Some of you would rip it off anyway. But you know, they want to jerk you around. And so they invite people to go ahead and get illegal chips and stand on their head and do all kinds of stuff to see what they want to see. Idiots. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's Hollywood. Hello. Hollywood. And have a great day. Let's try Hollywood on 5. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Okay, this is from Hollywood. The thing about the umpires gets so ridiculous when you see that players can be suspended for, you know, whatever they do to the umpires, if they push them or abuse them in some way, but in reverse it doesn't work the opposite way. You can't, you know, they're raising this thing that you can't
Yeah, Tom Hallion got suspended 3 games for bumping Jeff Reed, and then you know, Roberto Alomar got suspended for 5 games, and the umpires got all bent out of shape about that, and Pete Rose once got a month for bumping an umpire, and it just goes on and on and on. They can dash out all the crap that they want, and they can abuse these players and throw guys out for just you know, saying a word, and in the meantime you can't even look at these guys.
And, you know, I think a few years ago, former Marlin player Dennis Cook just got thrown down to the ground, and the umpire, he was suspended, and the umpires union intervened and prevented the umpire from getting any suspension. I mean, these guys, you know, are I mean, they're not God. I mean,
no, they suck.
They do suck. And if you remember what happened earlier in the season with the Marlins, Cliff Floyd hit a home run, and the umpire looked at the
instant
screen,
replay, yeah.
and they said, well, you know, we want to have mistakes in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that tell you?
They just make it up as they go along. You can't use instant replay. And then, of course, when it was appealed, they said, well, you know, we should never do that again. But that was the end of it. It renders it all meaningless. It's meaningless enough as it is now with all the expansion and all these ridiculous teams. I mean, here right at the All-Star break, 95% of the teams are already out of contention. They're just playing out the string, and they still expect people to pay money to come and see them play meaningless games. But when you have calls that are ridiculous like that, it makes the whole thing a mockery.
It's going from the ridiculous to the sublime, Neil. What can you say?
And have a great day.
You too.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 200 open lines on there. It's going to be a long, brutal, tedious, terminal, ponderous Friday. Make no mistake about that.
You can kiss my rear end.
Listen to me. This is Stan Feinstein for Sofa King. You understand? Where everything is held to the high Sofa King standards. The selection isn't just huge, it's Sofa King huge. Believe me, you'll never shop anywhere else. And Sofa King's prices aren't just low, they're Sofa King low. You'll never find them anywhere else. Listen to me. When I say Sofa King has a beautiful store, I mean Sofa King beautiful. When I say the staff is helpful, I mean Sofa King helpful. Listen to me. Get to know the Sofa King and enjoy a selection that's Sofa King huge, a staff that's Sofa King courteous, and prices that are Sofa King low. You'll never shop anywhere else. But don't take it from me. Take it from satisfied customer Frank N. Stein.
Sofa King good.
You said it, Frankie. Sofa King good.
You know, did you ever go into one of those stores where they have all the stuff set up, all the TVs set up, and they all have the same picture on them, and they're all hooked up to like a laser disc? In other words, something that's as clear. It used to be in the old days, you go into a store and they'd all be hooked up to the cable, and you could actually see what the cable picture looked like on there. But when TV sets are hooked up to like a laser disc and a picture that is just absolutely crystal clear, they all look spectacular. And they deliver the thing to your house, and I've never had this happen before, and I don't want to prejudge because I got to get home this afternoon. In fact, I probably should leave right now and go home and spend several hours based on what I'm seeing on this phone. No, seriously, I could be more productive because I'm really good with that electronic stuff. You know, they probably have it hooked up wrong anyway. They got my big dish screwed up with the small dish, and the audio coming through one thing. They've got some things screwed up. But then again, what kind of people set up and deliver this stuff to your house? In fact, they were still wet from getting off the raft. They were still. I wondered why. I thought, gee, did they take a shower with their clothes on? No, they still had moisture from the ocean, from the Caribbean. But nevertheless, and I have a feeling that's going to turn out to be a real piece of crap. But I could be wrong about that. Here's a mobile in North Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, you.
Yes, sir.
What's the deal with these umpires? I mean, aren't they giving us a little too early of a notice for the last month off?
I guess they feel that they're so self-important that everybody would go into a frenzy and panic and get on their hands and knees and give them whatever the hell they want. I don't know.
Yeah, really, but doesn't that give us ample time to replace them? I mean,
of course.
my God.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
And like LeBastard says today, why wait to quit? You can do it right now. Give them about a week and get lost.
My God, we can replace them with a heartbeat with all these old farts they got over there. It's unbelievable.
We could go to Sunrise and Tamarack and get a bunch of old farts just as well. Probably in better shape than most of them are.
My kids in T-ball can do the umpiring from this jet.
How's John McSherry doing, by the way? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oops.
Have a great day, pal.
Thanks.
And Eric Gregg. Oh, well, he's got a little eating disorder. Yeah, he weighs 600 pounds. And then they got all excited when he got down to about 450, and then all of a sudden he was up to 700 pounds. I just don't get it. But then nobody cares anyway. 5670560. I'm going to go home and work on the TV. I really am. This is pointless. Here's our last call, mobile in Tamarack. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got a couple of umpires. May I?
Go ahead. Nobody cares about this.
Okay, well, anyway.
But go ahead.
Go along with me on this. I believe that they've been around for a long time. They've always made mistakes. They will. It's a human game. I think if we change it, it'll ruin the game. Something that's been said. Number one, a lot of people don't like authority. These ball players don't want to submit to authority, spitting in umpires and bumping them, and they're authority.
But how about the other way back? How about when the umpires abuse the players? Aren't the players human beings?
Right. I think where I say they make mistakes. My first comment was they make mistakes, but they are an authority figure, and everybody's rebellious.
Well, what does that mean, authority figure? Wait a minute. Sir, they're there to do a job. They're there to call balls and strikes and outs and safe. That's what they're there to do, is make decisions. They're not there to be dictators.
Let me finish. The authority figure there, and that's
why do you keep saying authority figure? Well, why does baseball need an authority figure?
They're the ones that run it. They're the ones that are controlled. They're the judge of that game. They're the Judge Judy. People are rebellious like you. You rebel against the station, the management.
Sir,
you rebel against everybody.
Do you want to have a conversation, or do you just want to scream and shout? Blow it out your ass, okay? Blow it out your ass. In fact, this guy, no wonder he likes the umpires. He sounds like one of them. Scream and yell and holler and carry on, because I'm sitting here very calmly trying to have a conversation with you. But you can't disagree with an asshole like you because you've got all the answers, and you probably got an umpire as a relative. Or like that guy I heard call the morning show this morning, umpires NCAA, and the response to that, I think it was Defoe, said, and he's absolutely correct. Boy, ever see the strike zone they got in college baseball? It's a joke. I broadcast college baseball for 6 years, including 5 visits to the College World Series. It's a farce. It's a joke. You could bring in the teenagers, kids who just were baseball fans, and do a better job of umpiring than most of those guys. Oh, they're the dictators. They're the authority figure. Yeah, okay, big deal. So does that mean their stuff doesn't stink, that they can dish out all the crap that they want and continue doing a crap job and waddle around in the kind of shape that so many of them are? Love to see any hockey referees try to do their job in the shape that most of those baseball umpires are. By the middle of the first period, they'd all be having coronaries. They'd have to cart them off the ice. Here's Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hey, good morning, Neil. How are you?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Good. I'm one of your Dr. Complexion listeners.
Yes.
And I'm a former male model, but wanted to comment on something else before I talked about that.
Yeah.
For a long time, Neil, I would listen to you talking about rap and hip-hop, and I had a real disagreement with what you were saying about it, but I got to tell you, I've just turned completely. I listened to some of our quote-unquote role model athletes get interviewed. They go out on the court and they go out on the field and they play, and you admire their athletic prowess, and then you stick a microphone in front of them, and I'm sitting and I'm listening, I'm going, maybe this is what's happening with the illiteracy that's going on, and I use that term speaking to how rap music purposely, Neil, uses phrases and phraseology and terms that are not correct.
Right. It promotes illiteracy. It promotes stupidity.
You know, even to the point I was listening to Will Smith's new video, folks, the movie Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
And in the video, he says a term, "we as quick as they is." And here's a guy, Neil, Will Smith, who turned down a scholarship to MIT to go into music. A guy who knows better, Neil,
right,
but who does it just to be able to hype the record to sell it to a certain segment of the population.
Right, exactly.
And it's disgusting, Neil. You know, you can say, and I guess my argument all the time was, well, they're in the marketplace. The marketplace is you know, you have an array of people come in with this idea and that idea, but it's not just that. It's the dumbing of America.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a continuation of that. But anyway, I wanted to comment on the part of the thing about models. I modeled in the mid to late 80s, and I'd say, you know, in terms of straight, gay, bisexual, I think it was about one third. I did trade shows, and I did a lot of runway, and I'd say, you know, it's pretty much split down in thirds, like, you know, along those lines.
Right.
But you know, but other than that, but anyway, I just wanted to check in with you and say welcome back and love you.
And say hi to Jeff Popovich.
All righty, take care.
Okay. You notice there, just like when I brought it up the first time, months ago, way ahead of the Herald, by the way, way ahead, months ahead. They don't know from him, and even the guys in this, we think he wears number 38. Looks like 33 in the picture, it looks to me, but nevertheless close. Yeah. I'm telling you, these sports nerds, man, talk about hysterically homophobic and uptight about their own sexuality. I mean, really just insecure, psychotic. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, 21 before 11 at QAM. We got Hank at 2. We got at 6 o'clock talking baseball with Donnie B. 6:30 the pregame, and then from the Skydome, the Marlins and the Blue Jays, 7 o'clock tonight. And by the way, Ray Perry, same performance. Let's give Ray an Academy Award again. Very nice performance in here yesterday. Any results?
No.
No. Anything happen he said was going to happen?
No.
Any new copy?
No.
Any,
no.
No. But nevertheless.
Friday, you bastard.
This week on 48 Hours, what has caused seemingly normal people to erratically alter their behavior? We'll take a closer look at a new language emerging in America.
Welcome to McDonald's, may I take your order?
Hey, groovy, baby! We have a nice Pergo laminate floor, or you could go with a tight tile carpet.
How about a shag, baby? Can I buy a shag now, or can I buy a shag later?
Hello, Mrs. Winthrop, may I take your hat?
Do I like you horny, Jiggins? Do I?
This week, America under the control of Austin Powers. Up front on 48 Hours.
Take a look, groovy, baby.
10:44 at 560 WQM. That thing with, what's his name?
Roy!
In the doorway before, that was, really made my day again. Not. Oh, he was, proven, found innocent by a piece of his juries. Well, what did he say? Some bizarre thing. Some illiterate bullcrap. A piece of his jury. Here's Boca. Hello.
Neil, God.
Yes, sir.
First off, who cares about the umpires and the athletes? Forget about it.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but nevertheless, they got nothing else to talk about. I mentioned that as kind of like a throwaway.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. I'm with you. Anyway, did you get a chance to see Larry King with Tom Cruise last night?
No, I wouldn't watch Tom Cruise. I'd rather watch the umpires than Tom Cruise.
I never saw
Tom
Larry
Cruise makes
King.
me more nauseous than what's his name? Jordan Knight.
Oh, but anyway, I never saw Larry so excited to be in the company of a big movie actor.
Yeah.
He was drooling over himself.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm just passing on the turnpike here. I see the lottery's up to $31 million.
Yeah.
If you won that, would you be off?
I don't play the lottery. The lottery's a sucker bet. The governor will never tell you that, and the Bobby Butterworth will never tell you that. The lottery is for suckers.
Yeah.
I'll buy a few tickets. Okay, have a great day, pal. He's got no material. He's knocking the guys that are talking about the umpires. He's talking about Tom Cruise. Anybody care about Tom Cruise?
No.
Not if you got a brain, you don't. I'm not buying that bull crap. Jesus, I mean, talk about desperate and repressed. Let me say it for the 8 millionth time. That's why so many people want to watch MTV, especially after they discover some of those shows on there, because they want to see young, hot, naked bodies. Oh, my God, how disgusting and how true. And the American public is so repressed. Now, I read some of the reviews of this thing, and, of course, Kubrick, rest in peace, was great, but nevertheless, some of them are pretty scathing. And who the hell wants to see Tom Cruise or Nicole Kidman naked anyway, when you come right down to it? Do I want to see them?
No.
Neither one of them. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You was talking about a book about diabetes the other day. Can you please give me the name of it?
I was talking about a book about it?
Yeah.
About Dr. Friedman's book?
Dr. Friedman's book?
What's the name of that book? Diabetes Solution by Dr. Richard Friedman or something.
Diabetes Solution by
Yeah.
Dr. Friedman.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Hardcover. It's the best book you'll ever buy on diabetes.
Hardcover.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, get it.
Thank you.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Too bad we couldn't get a copy for Gene Hart before it was too late and stop him from eating all those tasty cakes in Philly. You get any calls about him?
No.
No, of course not. He's a hockey broadcaster. They know anything about that here?
No.
No. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
At 360 pounds, I don't have to worry about sexuality.
Yeah.
With the Marlins in town, I gave up baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I wanted to call you was about the Hitachi.
Yeah.
Absolutely the best picture I've ever had. And I have about 3 friends that have the big one. And the
You have
color
three
is...
friends who got a big one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What about a TV?
well, they have that too.
Yeah.
But the color on it is, I think it's the realest I've ever seen. Better than Sony, better than anything else I've
So in
ever
other words,
seen.
I just got to wait till I get home and set this thing up properly, is that it?
I think you'll love it. But you know what? I was raised in Philadelphia, and Gene Hart was one of the greatest.
He was good.
He's fat, just like me.
I didn't like
but his problem
I didn't like
short.
that tasty cake crap with the goals, but he was good.
Yeah, but he was short too, and he couldn't handle it.
And the
But,
last several years, he got so red in the puss that it was people told me it was tough for him to even get up to the broadcast.
you know, I've been out here for about 10 years, but he was the greatest announcer, one of the greatest announcers I ever heard.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But I think you'll like the Hitachi, pal.
Okay, thanks. Thanks
Have a
for the
great
good news.
weekend.
I feel a lot better. Thank you, sir. There's a guy that says you'll like it. Give it a chance. Set it up right, okay? Don't get all disappointed because those banana boat guys from Art set it up wrong, which they did. Like I said, you got to go home. It's got a whole deal you go through to set it up and get the cable thing. And even right now, the remote control that I used this morning seemed like a Tinker toy. Seemed like a play toy as compared to my great Sony XBR. Pretty tough to beat that Sony XBR TV, you know? I mean, maybe you don't agree with that. See, I should be talking to Suds about this. And if we were on a real radio station, Suds would be around here somewhere. But are we on a real radio station?
No.
No, we're on a goddamn jock-sniffing station where when Alonzo was in here the other morning, all these assholes, including Sam Douchebag, are running around in the hallway sucking Zoe's ass. Like there was somebody important in here. Oh, man. Goes back to what that dark-complected listener was saying a few calls ago. Get a brain. When is America going to finally ever respect anybody with a brain? When is there going to be a premium on intelligence? Will it ever happen again in our lifetime?
No.
No. See, Jeff Popovich, he not only looks good, but he's got a 3.6, and he's not majoring in basket weaving. His grade point average is probably higher than the whole rest of Hurricane team put together. A 3.6 GPA in biomedical engineering. How do you like that? If you want to have your kids respect somebody, respect him, admire him, okay? Not some illiterate jackass. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I haven't been to a baseball game in 25 years.
Good for you.
I fell asleep at it when I was 13. So boring.
Yeah.
Hey, these guys make $150,000 a year. They want to quit. See ya.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Who cares? You know. And enough of that. I saw Tom Cruise. What a giant nose.
Yeah.
What a giant. Nothing to say.
And a hunchback. I think maybe that's why he and Larry got along so well. They both have hunchbacks.
I think all what he wanted to do was say, look, my wife can't get any work, so we made a movie.
Right.
I mean,
And this is a good way to convincing people that we're really doing it, and those are really my kids.
the best line I heard was Jon Stewart. He said, if it was Shannon Tweed and Andrew Stevens, it would be on Showtime. And he goes, then I would watch.
Yeah.
And that was it. Hey, you see Jesse the Body?
No, I didn't see that.
He's going to wrestle.
Yeah.
I mean, no, have you heard?
Yes,
and all
I
the
have
people
heard.
that give all these speeches for $50,000 are complaining.
Yeah.
What's the difference, really?
Exactly.
And they say
at least he's honest about it.
Absolutely. Then they're saying he wants the control of Ross Perot's independent party. Well, why would he even want that? Why would we want that?
Okay, have a great day. Calm down. Boy, talk about psychotic. Thank God I don't have his problems. I feel so much better now. Andrew Stevens, remember him? What was he in?
The Seduction with Morgan Fairchild and a whole bunch of B movies. And
Oh, he looked pretty good though. Although he
100
did
years
have that
ago,
big
yeah.
slice on it. Oh yeah, a long time ago. Well, a lot of people look good a long time ago. Some of us, of course, never look good, but never look. See, it's one thing when you never did look good, then you don't have to feel bad about the aging thing because you always look pretty crappy anyway. So at least you were consistent. But if you used to look real good, and then all of a sudden you woke up one day and said, "Oh Jesus, God, take a look at what the Lord has done to me." Then I guess you must feel pretty psychotic about it. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey,
How you doing, Neil?
Pretty good, sir.
I've listened to it for a few years. You're pretty good, even though I disagree with some things. I am a rapper.
Yeah.
I don't believe that rap promotes illiteracy. It goes back to the same feeling I have with movies. I think it goes back to the parents. There's a time when I speak with rap, I speak slang. I speak slang with my friends. But when I'm in the business and in selling, I talk, business talk or the white talk, the way they want you to talk.
What do you mean white talk? What is that? You mean English?
No, it's not really English because it's changed from what it used to be.
It hasn't changed. When you say white talk, I've been hearing that for years.
Talk, all right, not really white talk, but I mean the corporate America talk.
No, English, proper English.
Well, okay, English. But you see, even the hippies have their own slang, and the surfers have their own slang. Well, see, rappers have their own slang. But our music does challenge the politics and the governing, and Luke did fight censorship. I mean, there are some positive things. I don't believe they should be killing on records. I mean, when I rap, I disagree with rapping about killing.
Yeah.
But
and about killing cops and about beating up your women and crap like that.
Cops, I don't mind. Or a few beatings, but maybe you don't got to kill them. I just feel that you shouldn't diss rap every time you hear it, because there are some good rap and there's bad rap. And just because the kids are talking that way, they need to learn at home how to talk and when to talk at the right time.
But they're not. They're not learning at home. They're learning to be illiterate.
I don't believe that's rap's fault. I believe that goes to the parents.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So, I mean...
But why do you have to reinforce it?
Reinforce it? It's just the way we talk. It's a slang. It's how the music grew up, and it's just how it is.
Okay, well...
I agree with a lot of things you say, though. The penny tax, believe me, I'm going to be right out there voting no.
Great.
You inspired me to rap about how crooked the churches are.
Yeah.
So we got a rap called Watch What You Step In about crooked preachers telling me about Jesus and the way they're trying to please us while the choir girls are smoking session in confession,
There you go. Now we're talking.
Yeah,
now you're speaking my language, man.
Yeah. I mean, you're a real good guy. I like you, man. I got my friends listening to you. I just want to say what's up to the Groundhogs, my group, and George. I will bring your CD by one day when we finish using up our 50 hours of studio time, and I'm going to let you hear it, dog.
All right.
Take care, man.
See ya. Okay, so anyway, say hi to Eminem for us. Remember Eminem?
My anus.
Yeah. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. See, he got me a little bit nervous when he started with that stuff about talking white people talk. I get real, because every now and then you'll hear militant black people talking about, white folks want us to be more like them and speak like them. Yeah, like English. I wish that the British, I'm not talking about black British people, I'm talking about white British people. I wish they would speak the language. They're the ones that invented it. You'd think they know how to speak it, English. And like I've told you before, the amazing thing, and this is without exception, when you go to Europe, when you go to like real countries with their real living and breathing people, which maybe if you're long enough someday you'll be lucky and you'll do it. When you go there and you hear, because there's a lot of English spoken, like in Scandinavia and the Netherlands, most of Northern Europe, English is mandatory as a second language in school. So most people are very fluent in English, and they don't speak British English, they speak American English, just like most of us speak it. Be speaking it. They don't speak that British thing where it sounds like they got a corn cob up there, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm sure you be knowing what I'm saying. Here's Aventura. Hello.
I can't believe that guy called you dog. What's up, Neil?
Why not? Hey, we got the little dog, the big dog, the mad dog. How about the fag dog?
Neil, I just got back from Italy. I never really even thought about going over there until I listened to your show. Fabulous.
What did I tell you?
All I can say is thank you.
I try to share the good stuff with this audience, and most of them all say, oh, yeah, you don't know what he's talking about.
Neil, I was even in downtown Rome. It's like 12:30 at night on a Friday. We're on a city bus. Nobody goofs with you. You don't worry about getting knocked in the head. It's just everybody minds their own business.
The only people you see with the guns are the Carabinieri and the Polizia and the Militaria.
Yeah, I stayed right across the street from the Turkish embassy, and there was a lot of the local police there. But if you don't cause any problems, you ain't nothing to worry about.
There is no problem. That is correct.
Exactly. We went to Florence. Florence reminds me like it's like a Key West of Italy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd ever do that again.
Tourist trap.
Exactly.
Very overpriced. It's like Niagara Falls.
Exactly. But it was
But it's
beautiful.
a good thing to see once.
Yeah, the Duomo was really nice. But I just really want to thank you. I mean, I probably never would have went there if I wouldn't have been listening to your show. And you're talking it up. I think the tourist board of Italia should be reimbursing you a little bit.
Yeah, especially for my 2 days in Milan that cost me about $8 billion, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm glad you had a good time.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Had a child with
the king of pop. His fatherboard is insanity. And if you think we accept, that's a great big lie. Now and then I see my kid's face. I'd like to see him, but I don't have a case. If I try too hard, my money will go bye-bye. Oh, never see that child in my eyes. Oh, I never see the child in my eyes.
11:02 at 560 WQM. Thanks to whoever brought this thing in from and wouldn't you know it, in the Toronto Star from July 9th, the scoop on poop.
I couldn't put it down.
Oh, this is great. We'll get into this deeply in a moment. So anyway, thanks to my good buddy Wayne Arnold who calls in. Leave it to somebody I know to straighten out a problem with, personal thing like the TV set. So Wayne also went out and got him a Hitachi big screen TV and hooked up his satellite dish to it, and the picture was crystal clear. And then he went over to the cable, and the picture was grainy and really bad, like mine was this morning. And he freaked out and didn't know what the hell to do, and finally called the cable company. And the cable company comes out at no charge, and they have to boost up the signal. Because I guess on the new sets, it's so critical, and the picture is so clear that unless you get a really strong signal, your picture is like grainy and crappy, which you'd expect anyway from the cable. So they came out and put in the booster at no extra charge, and now he's getting a real good picture on the cable, and that's what I'm going to have to do. But now I feel like maybe, just maybe, I made the right choice. Thank you, Wayne. God bless you. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
When I turned on the radio this morning, I heard you talking about Gene Hart. Did he recently die, or hasn't he?
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
You know, he was a
68.
wonderful. Oh well, he was a wonderful announcer, but he's the only, and you loved him because he was a great homer. According to him, Bobby Clark never committed a penalty. But well, that's too bad. He was a good guy.
Complications of diabetes. He was fat and he was diabetic.
He should, his estate should sue Tasty Cake. You're right.
Right. Too many
They were
tasty
big.
cakes. That's right.
All right. Enjoy the show. Take
Okay.
care. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. We got 200 or 300 open lines here today. It's another tooth pulling day here in the big city, but we're used to that, aren't we? You bet your sweet ass we are. Just keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling and yanking and squeezing. How's Jeff Popovich doing, by the way, speaking of all of that? Here's a mobile in Gainesville. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Speaking of yanking and pulling, there's an article here in one of our little local newspapers about campus restroom sex acts lands 3 men in jail.
All right.
Just it's about these 3 guys who are looking for action in some of the halls around campus up here. One of the guys' names is just too ironic. Guy's name is Chisholm. And in the papers up here, they print your picture with your names clear as a bell and
Great.
give you the whole account.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, I'll run it down just real briefly for you. Officers saw men performing sexual acts for each other, according to a police report. The officers watched Thompson seated on a toilet seat in a stall next to Chisholm, is the guy's name, pulled his pants and underwear down, got on his knees, and began to masturbate in front of Chisholm.
You're looking for glory holes.
Yeah.
Chisholm then reached down and grabbed Thompson's penis in a fondling manner. So the police are apparently standing around watching for this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another poor guy, Johnson, listed in the campus directory.
Johnson?
Johnson and Chisholm.
Yeah.
This is too unbelievable.
Johnson and Chisholm, yeah.
I'm going to send this to you.
I can't wait.
And Johnson, listed in the campus directory as Fine Arts Jr., got on his knees with his pants down and underwear off and asked the officer for a, I don't know if I can say that, we'll just say Monica, while showing the
You
officer
can't say
his penis.
blowjob, no.
Okay. For a blowjob, while showing the officer his penis. They also go on to say the 2 incidents are not related, although they are kind of related. Up here, it's a misdemeanor charge, and you got to bail yourself out of jail for that. But they're charged with engaging in unnatural and lascivious acts, and they were all taken to the Alachua County Jail.
What's unnatural about it?
I don't know. It's all dependent upon your preference, I guess.
Right,
You guys
unnatural.
are just given a new meaning to what it is to be a
Well,
gamer.
if it was
you know?
natural enough for the White House, it should be natural enough for Gainesville, I would think.
Absolutely. Hey, it's slow and dead enough here in the summer. I guess everybody's just looking for some action.
Okay, thanks for the good news, pal.
All right, take it easy, Neil.
See you. Bottoms up. How do you like that? They're doing it in Gainesville, baby. Oh! 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I'm just calling. I want to let you know that George did a great job while you were gone.
Uh-huh.
You know, you guys should give him a raise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you know, you guys make a good team, if you know what I mean. You know, I like to call a couple people douchebags.
Okay, that takes care of our calls for today. Woo-wee, if you know what I mean. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Seriously, how do we really make it through the, let's see, you got your May and June and July and August, and then Labor Day finally comes, and you get the last weenies off the grill, and then maybe, just maybe, I've always said, how do the poor bastards that are in retail in this town, how do they survive in the summertime? How do they make it? I mean, you go into these malls and they're paying, you just know that the owners are paying through the nose. They're paying through the gigantic rents in these big fancy shopping malls, and you see the people working in there, standing there, pacing back and forth and edging closer toward the door, practically wanting to come out and grab you by the arm and dragging you into the establishment just in hopes they might be able to peddle you something, anything. How do they make it? How do they survive in this seasonal horse and buggy douchebag town? Don't get it. Because I know we sure as hell have a mitzvah doing it here in the summertime. It's a picnic. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, how you doing today, Neil?
Okay, sir.
I'd like to ask a favor of you. If you could conduct a poll today for me.
On?
Well, I work in the restaurant industry, and I'm just curious why people feel necessary to clap if they hear a broken glass or a broken plate. And I just wanted to see why that happens.
They do that? I never heard them do that.
Really? You never heard? I've been a bartender for like 10 years now, and I mean, if something breaks...
Sarcastic applause?
Yeah, there's
the whole place. Really?
Yes. Now there's...
Well, isn't that nice?
What if that's that guy's steak coming from Ruth Chris, and he hears, and he's clapping, meanwhile his steak's getting, falling on the floor.
I'll tell you one thing. If I'm the guy that's bringing the food out and I drop the thing and it breaks and they're applauding with sarcastic applause, I'm going to make sure that some of that ground glass goes back into the food on the next plate. That's right.
Well, just ask around and see how many people would fess up to clapping.
Okay.
That's what I'm curious
Excellent
about.
point, pal.
Thank you, Neil.
Punch your lights out.
Take care.
See ya. What a bunch of crap that is. Now, I'll give you another example where people clap when they think they're being doing it complimentary, and that is on a plane. When the plane lands, and it's like and what bothers me is, first of all, why should you have to applaud if it's a great landing? Now, I'm trying to think of one of the landings coming back. Maybe it was the Virgin Atlantic coming back from London on this last leg coming last Sunday. The landing was magnificent, especially for a 747. That's a big ass plane, and the landing was like, I mean, you couldn't feel even a runway. It was just as smooth as silk. It was great, but I'm not going to sit there and applaud when I'm paying expensive money. You're supposed to get a good landing. But what really cracks me up is, it'll be kind of like a jarring landing, and you'll bounce a couple of steps on the runway, a few yards, and you hear, hey, people that never flew before, who I guess are just happy to still be alive. Don't get it.
Oh, God, Neil.
Well, we got some good school stuff.
His pants are tight, his teeth are pearly white, but their obsession with them's a disgrace.
Yes.
He sings a song, and then it don't take long for their bedroom wall get plastered with his face. He makes them drop, yeah, all them teeny bops when his pelvis pumping like they're up on stage. Sure, he's a star, but I don't care what he are, and if you think I'm just jealous, that's okay.
Yes.
Don't get me started on Ricky Martin. He might just lose a lot of fans. Cause if you get me started on Ricky Martin, I might tell you he really loves a man. You don't get me started on Ricky Martin. I don't care how much that he makes. Cause if you get me started on Ricky Martin, I might just prove the rumor he's a flake.
Also, the new thing in Rolling Stone for the very naive and gullible and people just begging to be conned. The new deal is Rolling Stone, Ricky Martin says, number one, he's not gay, and number two, he's into older women. Anybody believe either of those?
No.
Anybody with a brain believe either one of those?
No.
Wait till I get into this BM stuff. Boy, this is great. From the Toronto Star. Leave it to an out-of-town newspaper, especially the Toronto Star or the Sun, to come up with something meaningful that has something to do with our lives, as opposed to a bunch of people running around on a rubber raft somewhere. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello. Lady in Miami.
Hi, this is Jessica Childs. I'm Doug Popovich's girlfriend.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. One thing. First, I want to tell you guys, Jeff is number 33 on the football team, not
Yeah, I can
38.
see that. It's in the paper this morning. And by the way, you know, the Herald always finds ugly pictures of people. Where did they find that picture on the first part of it? The one in the second part on the inside from Abercrombie and Fitch is great, but that picture on the front page there, the sports section, is ugly. Isn't it?
I'm not sure where they ended up getting that one.
Boy, I think they airbrushed it to make him look ugly.
Oh, no.
But then when
That's impossible.
when you turn to page 10, it redeems it.
Yeah.
So how long you been going with Jeff?
Actually, I go out with Doug, and it's been 10 months now.
Oh, with Doug?
Uh-huh.
I see. Doug is 25, right?
Yes.
And Doug lives here too?
Yes, Doug lives in Miami. He's actually going to be making a documentary of football coming up this season, so everybody should be looking out for that after the season ends. And yeah, they have a lot of stuff going on. I want to clear up a couple of misconceptions. The guys definitely aren't gay.
Right. And even I said that.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are speculating whether or not that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
And also...
Well, I mean, you haven't done Jeff, too, on the side, have you?
Oh, no.
Jeff has a girlfriend?
Jeff does not have a girlfriend. He is very single.
He doesn't have a regular girlfriend.
No, he has nowhere near a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as the football aspect of things, I know he's kind of getting a bad rap, and there's a common misconception that he's not really up to par or a good athlete. And as far as that goes, Jeff works harder than most anybody on the team, and hopefully this season we'll see him out there some more.
Well, looking at that picture from the catalog, I would say he probably is harder than anybody on the team.
Yeah, definitely. They're both really dedicated and hard workers, more so than anybody I know.
I couldn't disagree.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, sweetheart, have a great day, and thanks. Good hearing from you.
Okay, you too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Give Doug and Jeff a big kiss for all of us. How do you like that, huh? Yeah, you're right, kind of like 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Coconut Grove. Hello.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
You still looking for male models?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a male model. Those other guys that called before, I think they're my icons, but no, I'm the real model. My name's Henry.
Yeah.
Yep,
And what's your story, Henry?
I posed a couple issues for Playgirl back in August '97, and people say I'm a Fabio lookalike, but I'm straight as a board.
You're a Fabio lookalike? Yeah, I sure hope not.
Yeah, I'm hung like a freaking horse too.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And but if you saw, I think even you, Neil, if you saw these biceps, you'd get a boner.
I doubt it. Not if you look like Fabio.
Well, a cross between Fabio and Ricky Martin.
And Ricky Martin. Okay, well, listen, have a great day, pal. That said it all for me. That's all we need to know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, keep a toe on the ground, sweetheart. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's Miami with 15 question marks attached. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir?
Yeah, I have a music question I wanted to ask you.
Why are there so many question marks on the thing on the board here next to your name?
I don't know, ask George.
Okay.
Anyway, couple music questions. First of all, what would you rank Steely Dan in music history?
Where would I rank Steely Dan?
Yeah.
Probably number 7,422.
I guess that means you don't like him.
I hate Steely Dan.
The other thing...
Can't stand Steely Dan.
The other thing...
I get screaming diarrhea just hearing the name Steely Dan.
Are we out of gas? Yeah, we're out of gas.
Yeah. That's the definitive Steely Dan line. That's all you need to know.
I would say, my friend says, best rock and roll singer in history. Okay, he says Elvis Presley. I say Freddie Mercury. What do you think?
I say you're both full of crap.
Okay. Who would you say?
I don't think you can say the best rock and roll singer, but I mean Elvis Presley was the best, and Freddie Mercury?
Well, that's what I think, but,
I think your friend's doing too much acid.
Okay. Anyway, Neil, in closing,
Yeah.
have you still figured out what a 100-dog brother is?
No.
Okay, thanks.
Meaning what? What does that mean?
Joe Rose.
Oh, 100. He didn't say it right. Well, he was mumbling like that. Which kind of takes something out of it, like the humor. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Deerfield Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
Okay, sir.
What do you think about Pink Floyd? What?
They put me over the wall, man.
Were you doing acid?
I don't listen to Pink Floyd. I can't stand Pink Floyd.
What's wrong? What's your favorite rock and roll band?
Aerosmith.
Oh, I love Aerosmith, too.
Yeah.
Steve Tyler's great.
Right.
Yes, he is. I totally agree with you.
So what's wrong with that?
Well, no, nothing. Rolling Stones are fantastic,
Right,
too.
Stones are good. Back they were good. They're not good anymore. They're old and tired and stale, but they were great.
But Mick Jagger still kicks
They're
ass,
old
man.
and tired and stale. He can't sing one note, okay? Please, spare me the pain. Stop trying to make excuses. He's an old man.
No, I know
Nobody's going to want to go see the Beach Boys when they're 95 years old, okay? They're not going to be surfer guys when they're 110.
No, well, I'm almost 110 myself. Hey, but listen, you know, that guy that called in, he said he looked like Fabio. He's probably a cross between Fabio and Richard Simmons.
Yeah. Well, he said Ricky Martin, so what's the difference?
Any male that wants to be a male model, that is totally gay.
No, it's not.
Well, it is to me.
Well, we just got you with a thing with Jeff and Doug Popovich's girlfriend just called in from the U of M.
Yeah, I heard her.
They're not gay.
No, I guess not. But still,
Well, what do you mean you guess not? How about Jason Taylor from the Dolphins that just came out with his calendar for charity? Is he gay?
I don't know. Do you know?
No, I don't. But I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
bet
assume.
you do.
No, I don't. How the hell would I know? You bet I do.
I don't know. It sounds like you do.
I know everybody who's gay and everybody who's not. Boy, I must have
How do
some
you
fabulous
know?
information.
How do you know?
How do I know what?
How do you know if they're gay or
I
not?
don't.
Do you dip the wick?
I don't know if he's gay or not. Do you? Do you care?
No, I don't.
Sounds to me like you're obsessed with it.
Hey, and listen.
Sounds
I'm
to me
calling-
like you have an obsession with it.
No, I'm calling from Deerfield Beach. And
Oh, like I said, that explains it all. Okay. I'm calling from Deerfield Beach. No wonder he's got an obsession with anybody that's straight, gay, or even got one. If I lived in Deerfield, I'd be real lonely, too. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. See, that goes back to what I said in the beginning. That's the popular contraception, that any guy that models is definitely a fag, which is ridiculous. Steve Eiserman in Detroit for years, a real good-looking guy, one of the best-looking guys in the NHL. He's had a calendar up there in Detroit. Is he gay?
No.
His wife sure as hell don't think so, neither do his kids, which don't prove it, but I don't think that just because a guy models, that makes him a fag, okay? Jackass? Here's a mobile in Naples. Hello.
Neil!
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, that Ricky Martin parody really sucks as much as he does. And not that there's anything wrong with being a fag. I know that you're one. And
Yeah, moving along. Let's get
all right.
to the meat of the matter, okay?
the meat of the matter is the Joe Show rules on 770, and you suck.
Yeah, okay. Great. That was good. That was great, okay? Joe's show rules on 770 and I suck. I only wish that someday I could be good enough to make it to Fort Myers, you know? I only wish and pray that I could be good enough, this show could be good enough to make it over there. Into the Fort Myers. Oh, we are in the Fort Myers. I mean like on a real radio station, not just one that they put on there to fill up the time because the Beasleys are too cheap to put on real programming most of the day. Thank you so much, sir. And thanks for listening, by the way, to 560 and 770 WQAM. Over there, you got a station that doesn't even have its own callers anymore. Beauty. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
Okay, sir.
I just wanted to reiterate.
Sir, speak up. Speak into that phone. I got a bunch of mumblers here this morning.
I'm sorry, Neil. How about now?
That's better.
Okay. I just wanted to reiterate that, yes, you're going to be very pleased with that Hitachi set.
Yeah.
Because I bought one in 1980.
Well, you and Wayne Arnold and I, well, what do you mean in 1980?
I was in Japan in the Air Force for 6 years.
Yeah.
I bought a model over there, and I bought it back with me. It's still going strong.
Really?
And then I was so pleased with it. About 3 years ago, I bought another set for my dad that he's retired in Atlanta. And the lines were so bad up there also, I had to put a booster in, just like he said, into my dad's house. And the set looks wonderful. The colors come out. The flesh tones are very, very realistic.
So in other words, even with the booster now, the cable looks good.
Right, exactly. And when I came to Coral Springs, and this is a brand new house, the booster wasn't that good here either. And I had to rewire myself the house itself because the cable guy had screwed up the wiring in the house when they installed it originally.
Right.
I straightened out the whole line and put my own booster in. And I've got that old one still going, and I have 2 Toshiba big screens. I'm like you. I have them all over the house. That way I don't miss anything. And I've had the Toshiba set now 6 years, and not a problem, Neil. So I think you'll be very happy. Just work it out and adjust it and read the book like I did.
When in doubt, I'll work it out. Okay, thanks a lot.
Have a good day.
Thanks for the good news. Bye. Okay, 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. It's 11:25 at QAM. It's hot, it's muggy, it's spitzing in the shade.
Holy cow, Aaron's coming.
All right.
Tell me that you love my eyes. on checking out my side.
Yes.
Don't blame you 'cause I'm very cute. Check out my breath, they're poking out my thoughts and you. You come on to me and whisper things in my ear, and it sounds so odd. But if you wanna date me, slow. There's things about me I don't think you know. I'm underage, 17. You should be scared of me, 'cause you could go to jail if you sleep with me. If I scream, you end up praising me. She looks 25, but she's just 13. Oh! Perfect teeth, I bet my lips are sweet. Daddy called the cops last night. My breasts are perfect to see because I've had surgery. None of my skirts reach my knees. My butt just hangs right around of my shoulders.
Rectum.
Jailbait. You should be scared of her. Scared of me? Rolling Stones brand made her look dynamite. What a sight. She's looking mighty fine. She looks 25, but she's just a teen.
I got this for her. Brittany's got it all over Jennifer Lopez. I know that you're all excited because you were just watching Jennifer there on VH1.
Oh, no.
But nevertheless, Brittany's got her hands down, so to speak. Hands picking in the crotch. It's 11:31, and see, that's another thing. These people that are watching the Britney Spears video, expecting to see Brittany picking her crotch as opposed to that other chick that's sitting on the hood of the car. I mean, if she did that, that would be the end. Okay, all work would stop in America for a second. I'm serious. That would be the end of productivity in America for days to come, so to speak. Oh, I got to get to this poop stuff from the Star in a little while. This is great stuff. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
I just wanted to say that I'm sick and tired of living in Miami, as well as you are. And I was in Paris about...
I don't live in Miami, sir. I live in Plantation Acres.
Oh, okay, well, that's
That
much
ain't
better.
no picnic either.
That's much better than Miami.
Yes.
And I was in Paris about 3 months ago, and I would rather live there any day than here in this hellhole, Miami.
Yeah.
And just to say, if you knew that I've been lately keeping up with NASA, and do you know that if you pay $200 a month, you could be one of the first ones to go live in the moon by the year 2030?
Yeah.
That's really good. I mean, I'd rather go live in the moon in space where people can hear me scream and complain than here in hell. Cock-a-moon.
Okay, well, good luck to you, pal. We'll send some supplies out to you, just like they did it out in the South Pole. We'll send a spaceship up there, and they'll drop it like from real low altitude. 5670560. And by the way, that little homo that called from Naples, hate to break the news to you, but Joey C. called from Fort Myers. They love this show. Everybody on that show, on the morning show in Fort Myers and whatever that used to be, WWCN, loves this show. They're obsessed with me, okay? So put it back in your pants and just give up. Putz. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Lantana. Hello.
Neil, what's happening?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay. Bob from Chicago here. Transplant. Dying every day.
Sound pretty depressed, Bob.
It's pretty depressing down here.
Yeah,
about 6 months, I saw media. About 6 months ago, I approached, I think her name's Lulu and Ray Perry. I forgot what her name is down there.
Oh, yeah, Lulu Ann and Ray Perry.
I
Yeah.
approached with the idea of selling media up here for them because nobody represents you guys up here in Palm Beach.
Right.
And we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. We'll put together a package for you. We'll get back to you. That was like 6 months ago, Ray.
Yeah, I would hold my breath, just like I'm holding my breath for all the prominent, Ray Perry, he's a good face man. He comes in, he puts on a good act like he did for me yesterday because I was really bent out of shape about our sales department really losing it. And just like the last time I saw him about 4 or 5 months ago, he gives me a big song and a dance. They're going to do this and they're going to bring you back that. And here it is like 25 hours later, and I have seen nothing,
Right. They're lame, very lame, because there's a dead market up here for radio, so there's an opportunity for those guys. But they didn't recognize it, so they're lost.
Right, exactly.
New company coming out, I don't know if you know about it, called CD Radio. It's going to be digital radio for the car.
Right.
It's going to be out in about 6 months to a year, and that should change the landscape
Change
of
the
radio.
face of the whole thing. If you think that Greg Reed is nervous now about some station on 2400 on the dial that nobody can pick up, wait till that comes out.
Pooping big time.
Exactly.
I'm out of material.
Okay, good luck, pal.
See ya.
Yeah, that Ray Perry, him and that Lulu, she's a Lulu, all right. Of course, she'd be on vacation this week, and Ray means well. It's just that nobody pays any attention to him. And, of course, when you work in a place, I've told you this many times before, when you work in a place where nobody ever gets canned and people just walk around and do whatever the hell they want, so he goes around, oh, well, we got to have this, we got to then, oh, okay, whatever you say, Ray, and then they go behind his back and don't get crab. You get squat. Isn't that right, John Penis?
Uh-huh.
And Todd Dreck and all the others. So anyway, when's that parody coming in about Fat Boy and the hand job? 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Toronto Star has got a big article here, July 9th issue, The Scoop on Poop. How's your health? Put embarrassment behind you and take a look at your bowel movements by Martiga Lone, special to the Star. And this is great. I mean, see, this is another thing about the FCC. You know, they make it up as they go along. Well, you can't say this word, and you can't say, and it's just arbitrary. And you can't talk about the last thing they came down with back in 86 or 87 about excretory activity. Now, excretory activity, last time I checked, is a part of life, right? Whether it's, very appetizing or not, that's another point. But it's a part of life. But they've decided you're not supposed to talk about that. And, of course, everybody goes ahead and does it anyway. But this article, I mean, is something that's of a very great value and grave and tremendous and urgent interest to every living human. It says, let's face it, digestion happens. Few of us, however, can talk about the end result without embarrassment. It's too bad our stools, which yield clues about diet, gastrointestinal health and stress, anger and anxiety levels, may be as useful a diagnostic tool as our temperature or blood pressure. How do you like that? I think instead of taking my blood pressure 2 or 3 times a day, I'm going to start checking my stools a little more closely. How do you like that?
Oh!
Huh? Like when you go into a bar, you better take a little close look at that stool before you put your rectum on it, because God only knows what's left behind. People can tell a measure of their health by their bowel movements, says Dr. Ted Loftness, rhymes with softness, an internist in Lickfield, Minnesota. What a name that is, huh? Dr. Ted Loftness. Nothing is as overrated as sex and so underrated as a good bowel movement, he says, and he hasn't even been in South Florida.
Oh!
Yeah. Can you imagine if this guy was like at Cemetery Village or at Sunrise Lake?
Oh!
Yeah, man, oh man, they prayed for a good one. From the moment food enters your mouth, your body embarks on a campaign to turn it into a soupy mush called CHYME. Is that chyme or is it chaim? Huh? I guess if you're Jewish, it's chaim. Chewing, saliva, peristalsis, involuntary contractions of gastrointestinal muscles, bacteria, hydrochloric acid, digestive enzymes, bile, and other secretions work to give each meal a consistency of split pea soup. While your digestive cells absorb sugar, starches, fats, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients, waste products travel down the line. In the colon, the leftovers are combined, packed together, and partially dehydrated. Packed together. Some experts say stools should float. Others say the opposite. Well, I remember the old sink and float lady from INZ years ago. I did a whole show on that one night. Do they sink or do they float? And people would call in, just buy the book. Just buy the frickin' book. It says, what remains, our feces consist of water, indigestible fiber, undigested food like corn and small seeds. Oh, yeah, corn and small seeds. Sloughed off dead cells, living and dead bacteria, intestinal secretions, and bile. Worn-out red blood cells in bile give excrement its distinctive color. If all goes well, you'll have a healthy bowel movement. Now here come a few very important things that you should listen to very carefully. Have all your kids gather around the radio, okay? Valuable information for the rest of their lives. Although digestive idiosyncrasies, variations in intestinal bacteria, and other variables can produce different standards for a healthy stool, it generally should be brown to light brown, formed but not hard, cylindrical, not flattened, fairly bulky and full-bodied, not compacted, somewhat textured but not too messy, and very easy to pass. And it shouldn't smell much. Well, I guess they've never been to our restroom down the hall here. Woo! You're passing methane and bacterial degraded foodstuff, so there's always going to be an odor, warns Patrick Donovan, a Seattle naturopath. But it shouldn't be a strong, pungent odor. It should be really mild. Like almost pleasant. Like, Experts disagree on 2 other characteristics, number of pieces and buoyancy. Now here comes the most important part. Each bowel movement should be in one piece about the shape and size of a banana and tapered at the end, according to Melanie Ferreira, a nutritionist and instructor at the National Gourmet Institute for Food and Health in New York City. Doesn't that sound a little bit out of line for a person with that title? She's the the National Gourmet Institute for Food and Health in New York, and she's an expert on, maybe she's an expert on bananas. It should be in one piece about the size, shape, and size of a banana and tapered at the end.
Oh!
Now, I can recall, just not put my thinking cap on too hard, but I can recall in my lifetime about 4 times that's happened, okay? 1 recently. 1 in the last 10 years. So I must have some real serious problems somewhere. By the way, let's start thinking about lunch. Oh, that's right, you're not eating anymore. You have no appetite.
I don't know what it is.
You don't know what is? You have no appetite?
I have no appetite.
Could be this place.
Could be.
Works for me.
Friday, you bastard.
Ever wonder what happened to the British supergroup Oasis?
No.
Lots of people thought they'd finally run out of ways to rip off the Beatles. Not even close. Oasis is back with a new CD that's like nothing you've never heard before. It's Oasis. Don't Let It Be.
Be united, my way, under one
Oasis, Don't Let It Be, gives you a chance to listen over and over again to incredibly original songs like this.
I'd like to be beneath the surface of the ocean in an 8-armed sea creature's cultivation patch with you.
Oasis, Don't Let It Be will move you. It will astound you. It will make John Lennon spin in his grave.
And at the conclusion, the love you receive is directly proportionate to the love you emit.
And look for Noel Gallagher's new solo LP, Abbey Highway, on Snapple Records.
Not only Aerosmith is great, but I love Foreigner too, okay? That's why I spend so much time out of the country, because I like Foreigners a lot. It's 11:46 at 560 QM, so just getting back briefly for another 20 or 30 or 45 hours to this piece about stools. Each bowel movement should be in one piece the size and shape of a banana tapered at the end. However, Donovan disagrees. He says stools don't have to be well-formed logs. They can disperse in toilet water. They can break down. Some experts argue that stools should float. Ferreira says buoyancy is a sign the body has absorbed the minerals in the food. Others believe healthy bowel movements should touch bottom because of their bulk and fiber content. Most stools will sink, says Softness, who doesn't buy either argument. Whether it floats or sinks really doesn't seem to make any difference. Now, where's that important part that I was reading to you? Oh, yeah. It's got a whole bunch of suggestions to improve your digestive system's health, like eating more dietary fiber, drink lots and lots of fluids, especially water, exercise daily, like walking. Regularly eat foods known to stimulate digestive enzymes, including brown rice, daikon radish. What the hell is that? What's a daikon radish? And pungent foods like garlic, ginger, and onions. Oh, I love garlic, and I love onions. Ginger, how often do you have ginger?
Whenever you have sushi.
Whenever she's available? I don't eat sushi. Oh, Jesus Christ. No wonder you're not in the mood to eat. Eat fermented foods such as miso. Oh,
no.
Soybean paste. Tempe. I thought that was in Arizona, Tempe, which is soybean cakes. See, this is that same old crap again. Like that phony baloney stuff that John Penis tried to unload on me a couple weeks ago. About eating the pigeon eggs and whatever that other stuff was on there that nobody could pronounce. High-quality yogurt and pickles. Eat lots of pickles to replenish beneficial bacteria in your gut. Hey, I don't miss a pickle. Minimize or end your intake of coffee, laxative, and refined foods, all of which interfere with regular elimination. Antibiotics, birth control pills, and other prescription drugs also can hamper your bowel movements. If you're constipated, ask your doctor if you can change or reduce the medications you're on. And it goes on. It says, heed the call of nature. Go to the bathroom when you feel the urge, not just when it's convenient. In other words, if you feel the urge right now, just let it loose. Just let go. No, it doesn't say get up and go. It says just go. It doesn't say get up and go anywhere. Reduce stress, which can cause either constipation or diarrhea. And see, this is something I've been telling you for years. This is very, very important, and this is why. Maybe you don't like Europe at all, but at least you like the European toilets, because at least in the hotels, the toilets are bigger around. And you have no, I mean, believe me, it's like it's even more sure than going to the pizza loft. I'm telling you, you have a meal there and you rush back to the hotel, and if you're lucky, you'll make it on time. Because it says if you're daring, consider squatting on the rim of the toilet in your bare or stocking feet. Squatting straightens the recto-anal angle and opens it more fully, so elimination is much easier. You could think of it as straightening a partially kinked garden hose. How do you like that? You know, when you have your hose on, so to speak, and it's got a kink in it, and then you straighten it out, and all of a sudden it's like squirt, squirt, it goes pouring through there like real fast. But when it's got a kink in it, you got problems. So there you go. There's some helpful stuff from the Toronto Star, and I thank the gentleman profusely who brought this by. Important stuff that has to do with real living, whether the FCC likes it or not. I wonder if the people at the FCC have a BM.
No.
Like the last 20 years?
No.
I doubt it. Bunch of assholes. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Which Hitachi TV did you buy, Neil?
Which one?
Yeah, the Ultravision.
I can't even tell you.
It's a projection?
Right.
Well, I noticed when you watch like a football game and there's a green field,
yeah,
if there's players in white, there's like a white halo around them, and it's other than that, it's a great TV. But
oh no, are you
players
serious?
are running down the field, there's going to be a little white glow around them.
Oh.
Lady soccer too.
I won't be watching ladies soccer.
Yeah, neither will I. Well, I called and the guy said, "Oh, that's normal. It's going to happen." But other
doesn't
than
happen
that,
on my Sony XBR.
Well, it happens on those Hitachis, and the guy said it was normal. And then the other thing was the subwoofer volume is like not proportional to the regular volume. So if you have a subwoofer hooked to it through the TV, you got to play with that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But,
so in other words, you don't like it.
No, I like it. Other than the
other than the white halo.
Yeah.
And the crappy sound.
No, the sound's good.
Yeah.
Just, you have to play with a subwoofer all the time.
But I don't have a subwoofer.
Okay, so then it won't be loud enough.
It won't be loud enough?
Well, it'll be loud enough for you probably. I just use it for TV. I don't watch, listen to music on it or anything. But it seems like if you don't turn the subwoofer up, sometimes it's not loud enough. Anyways.
Thanks for the good news.
Bye.
See ya. Gee, I was just starting to feel so much better about the whole deal. I'm ready to blow my brains out. What did you get from Chuck the other day that looked so good? Not that you didn't want anything, but I just might want something.
Cheesesteak.
Yeah. Not with bread.
No.
And it was good?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get that.
Onions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because onions, garlic, and ginger will really do it for you. Maybe some garlic in there, too. You think he has any garlic over there?
No.
Tell him to put some garlic on it. And the meat, too. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. I just wish I was talking to somebody that knew the difference between the Sony XBR and these Hitachis. I got to call up Suds Coleman and find out. Maybe he'll call in off the air and tell you. And we just won't mention that he called because we don't want to get him in trouble with you-know-who. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil. I recommend this. Eat anything you want, but get a colonic every month. It is the greatest. I love it. And,
no.
Neil, you have to try it.
Get a colonic? Where they stick that
Neil,
tube in your
rectum. I'm not making a joke. It is great. You can eat what you want, but get a colonic. Another thing, I was
Well, what do
watching.
you mean you can eat what you want? I don't understand what that means. You can't eat what you want.
If you want to eat red meat a couple times a week, if you want to, look, I don't throw everything down my throat, but I get a colonic meal, and the stool should sink. Definitely should sink, and it shouldn't be so dark brown. It should have a nice kind of like a camel color. If you can, that's ideal stool.
Camel, yeah.
Get a colonic. One other
like
thing.
a camel-colored banana.
I'm serious.
I am too. I'm dead serious.
All right. One other thing. I was watching My Three Sons, and they had Chad and Jeremy on, and I tell you, Chad was much cuter than Jeremy. Much cuter.
Meaning what?
I don't know. I always thought that they were,
Chad and Jeremy. You mean the singers, Chad Stewart and Jeremy
Chad
Klein?
He was gorgeous.
They were neither one of them were cute.
No, Chad is gorgeous. Neil, pick up your album covers again. He is gorgeous. I wonder what happened to him.
Okay, whatever you say.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll stick with Don Grady. Fine, and by the way, they're all old and ugly now anyway, so you can't live in the past, man. You can't live in the past. There are a lot of people that used to look good, okay? I bet you even, what's her name, used to look pretty good. Sister, Murray Margaret Elizabeth. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Mother Teresa. She used to look good too, huh? No? Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil, what's going on?
How you doing, sir? What is it?
You're talking to Camilo. Hey, Neil, I got a problem being straight.
Well, what does that mean? I'm talking to Camilo.
I'm letting you who I am. I'm telling you, I got a problem.
Okay, 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. How sad. How really very, very sad. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Good, good. Hey, you know about that stool thing? It all depends. You know, it depends upon what you eat and what you take in. You know.
That's what I just said. That's what I just got through reading.
Right.
That's what I just spent the last 15 or 20 minutes reading here, sir.
No,
That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah, no, I've been listening to you. Hey, that lady, what was her position again? The one that says the banana shape.
What was her position on what?
Over there. She worked in New York with the FDA or something?
Yeah, her position was prone. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. I'm going to have to start taking notes, I guess, sir, when I start reading these very important things. Start getting a pencil and a legal yellow pad, because you're going to have to take some notes. I can't repeat the whole 20 minutes just because you're so slow. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I heard you all along talking about your 32 XBR over the past couple of years. I happen to have one of those too, and I went out and bought, because I got a house bigger. I needed a bigger set. I got a Hitachi.
No, 53.
Ultravision.
53 XBR.
A 53 XBR?
Right.
Oh, that's what you've had before? Oh, it wasn't a tube. It was a projection.
Right.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you had a 32-inch XBR, Sony.
Well,
anyway,
a guy like me don't diddle around with 32 inches.
I know. Well, it's a great picture for the right size room.
Right.
But here's the problem. The Hitachi Ultravision, and they have an SBX, and that's the 50-inch one I bought.
Right.
Within the first couple of days, it just would shut off on its own. You could turn it right back on. So I knew it wasn't overheating, and then the relay switch wasn't shutting it off to protect itself. There was something fluky. So I actually took the remote, put it in the other room, thinking the remote's going off and misfiring and shutting it off, and that wasn't it. So they brought me out a brand new one. Same exact thing happened to that one. So finally I said, that's it, take it back. I got the Mitsubishi, and unfortunately my Mitsubishi was about 32, and those Hitachis were around 25. I don't know what you paid for yours, but you probably got the SBX.
I got a great deal on it.
Did you? Yeah, I imagine you get some great deals. But, I mean, the picture I liked, but, I mean, come on.
It kept shutting off.
It just shut off.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The remote, I only had about like 10 minutes this morning after because I had to come to work. But the remote control to me seemed like a tinker toy. It just didn't seem to work every time I pressed it. And it just, I don't know, compared to the Sony one, it seemed like a play toy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The Sony XBR, that's a tough set to beat. But when the guy was talking about the subwoofer and stuff, that's something, until you have a subwoofer, you don't know what you're missing, Neil. And they're not that bad as far as cost-wise. You should consider putting that in.
Oh, yeah, but I got two gigantic Polk speakers that I have my amplifier through, and if I want to run the TV through that, I can do it anytime I want. So I can get just unbelievable sound. I don't have to worry about that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you can do it that way.
I can crank that thing up and just drive the whole neighborhood out.
But supposedly this Hitachi and the actual Mitsubishi that I ended up with were the two best pictures that everyone kind of agreed. Those two were neck and neck.
Yeah.
But when it shut off, I said,
well, if that happens this afternoon when I go home, I'm taking a ball peen hammer to it.
They told me it was a factory problem and they needed to come and resolder something. And I go, you got to fix a brand new set?
Yeah.
I said, I don't think so.
Yeah, those Japs are getting even with us now, man. Okay, good luck, pal.
Good luck.
See
Good luck to you.
WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Never before has one movie brought together two people that no one in the country really cares about. You'll be bored to death when you see Julia Roberts' big mouth and Hugh Grant's obnoxious smile in Nodding Off Hill. Check local listings for theaters and times. Nodding Off Hill.
1202 at 560 WQM. It's working on me. Former Mayor Veltri to repay $44,191 in plantation.
Oh!
Compensation against city rules. Former plantation mayor Frank Veltri said on Thursday he would give back the $44,191 he accepted in sick leave and vacation pay, money the city's attorney concluded the one-time elected leader was not legally entitled to take. And it goes on to say, Veltri said he would reimburse the city. I didn't think I was taking something I wasn't entitled to, he said. Anybody believe that? Yeah. Nice going, you old fart. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Boca. Hello.
Tapered like a banana buttload, speaking of suds.
Yes, sir.
Former male model, Neil, and heterosexual.
Right.
I've posed nude and didn't really care if the audience was going to be male or female. I don't know what the big deal is with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there are a lot of guys very uptight about that.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I've heard a couple of guys that called in, sound like Julio's screaming about all guys who model are gay, but I would say less than half of the guys I ever worked with were gay.
Really?
Yeah. But I do have an update. First of all, that's a great way to meet chicks. You get a lot of dates modeling that way, because when they are, girls expect guys that they work with to be gay. When you turn out not to be gay and you're halfway good looking, they're interested.
Good point.
I worked in Dallas for a long time modeling, and got a Troy Aikman update for you.
Yes?
I can confirm that a friend of mine who was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, they dated for a year, so he was straight in that respect. She actually had to quit the squad to date him because it was against squad rules.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know a guy that I worked with in the modeling industry who claims to have first-hand experience with Troy on the other side of the tracks.
Right.
So I guess
I'd like to spread it around, maybe.
That's the way it seems.
Uh-huh.
And that's it for me.
But you said he was straight in that respect.
Well, he was straight. That was when he first came to Dallas.
Every other day he was straight.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
See ya. Oh, don't spread those ugly rumors, because you know how the sports nerds are. They crumble. They just fall to pieces when they hear things like that. They get real nervous, conjuring up images of people like Jeff and Doug Popovich taking showers with Troy Aikman and things like that. And with Brad, what's his name? Davis. I mean, Brad. Whatever the hell his name is. Butch Davis. I don't think Brad's taking too many showers anymore, do you?
No.
I doubt it. 5670560, pound 560. Well, he had that horrible time in Turkey, you know. Here's Hialeah. Hello. Hialeah. What were these buttons? Man, oh, look at that thing. Jesus, hit it. Hialeah. Hello.
Neil, God.
Yes, sir.
I had to try that twice. I wasn't sure if you had hung up on me or not.
No, this phone is rebelling.
Okay, unlike some of the Julius in Hialeah, I'm not here to crank call.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I just started listening to you earlier today, so I'm not sure if you talked about this already. Miami Herald Sports Section, Weekend Sports, bottom of the page.
About Jeff Popovich?
Aye.
Of course I talked about him. Doug's girlfriend called in earlier.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, I'm just
and
telling you.
assured us that they are both very heterosexual, although she insisted that Jeff doesn't have a girlfriend.
All right, now listen, why are they going to put such a small little picture of Jeff and such a huge picture of this dork, Woods? I mean, I'd rather see that huge picture of Jeff.
Well, if you turn to page 10 on the inside there, it looks
not even that big. I have to go
it's
to Dayland Mall to check
It looks
out that.
big to me.
Well, okay, yeah, that's nice.
In fact, the young lady that called in said it was gigantic.
It's not that big. It's not even a quarter of the page. I have to go to Dayland Mall and check out the floor to ceiling thing that they got.
I guarantee it would cover more than a quarter of the page.
Thank you so much, Neil.
And have a great day. Okay. 5670560. It's just, am I like on this, I'm like on the fourth floor and they're all like in the basement today. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, last Sunday I read that review of Farewell to God and the Sun Sentinel.
Yeah, by the religion editor.
The religion editor, right. He seemed pretty pissed off because he said the book was attacking Adam and Eve and Noah's Ark. What did the book say? Like, did it talk about, like, Noah and dinosaurs, Adam and Eve and God knowing the future? What did he say about it? Because you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? What did it say about it?
No, because he was really pissed off about the...
Well, I don't remember exactly what it said. It obviously debunked it very clearly and very emphatically and very well done. And what can I say?
Right.
It's a great book.
It was old news.
Well, what do you expect him to say? He's a religion editor. He's a religious nut. How can you have him reviewing a book against religion?
What's amazing is that book isn't in the stores. He's reviewing it because of you. That's why.
No, the book is in the stores.
It really
now.
is?
Yeah.
You get it right now?
It only took about 3 years, and they finally let him put the book in the...
one more thing. Like I said, if dinosaurs totally destroy that Noah's Ark story, it's absolutely brainless.
Oh, he had Barney and Dino and Dino on there. He had Dino Cicerelli on there, too, is what I hear, speaking of dinosaurs. Good luck, Dino. You'll need it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. North Miami with 4 question marks. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How are you?
Okay, sir.
Can I vent my frustration a little bit?
About?
I mean, the last person, I remember back in 1980s, there was a slogan, the last person in Miami, please don't forget to bring the flag.
Yeah.
The policy of just letting everybody come in, not everybody, excuse me, only selected people, which is only have to be Cuban nationalities, can come in, become a resident, become a citizen. On the other side, we don't lift the embargo against Cuban people, so they would come in as well because we were expecting overflow of Cuban revolt against Castro, but yet we still have this Cuban Adjustment Act, which is a valve, and anybody who's not happy leaves and comes here.
Yeah.
Sick of it.
And so is everybody else with a brain.
Yeah, but the thing, everybody else doesn't get the benefits of the other Cuban comes in here, automatically become residents. They automatically, after things, become citizen. Not any other nationality. If he was crossed the border,
George isn't even a citizen. He's got a yellow card.
It ain't automatic.
Yeah.
as soon as the 1 year and 1 day after when they are in Florida or United States,
you have to go and get your voter registration card and promise to vote for Governor Booch, and you have to stand there and go and kiss Ilya Ross Layton on a ring, and then you can become a citizen.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Okay, good luck to you, pal. Adios.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil Gott.
Working in the fields and be picking cotton, then became a secret agent, working for the man, for the man, for the man, CIA. And Slappy Watt was Lincoln. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Nobody know that General Grant was really a Pecoto. Yo-yo. Yo-yo, we be reviving history. Yo-yo, yo-yo, we be reviving history. It wasn't George, it was Denzel Washington. Tom Jefferson was George, and Weezy made the flag. She be mad with the weed. Al Sharpton was making Lee. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Nobody know that Albert Speer was really Nipsey Russell. Yo-yo, yo-yo. We be reviving history. Yo, 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 yo. We be reviving history.
Speaking of that, by the way, you notice now the NAACP is having a nervous crap because the coming fall TV programs, the lineup doesn't have enough ethnic minorities in there, don't have any ethnic minorities starring in any of the shows, so they're all pissed off and bent out of shape. That would be like somebody like maybe the Klan or some other white supremacy group filing a lawsuit saying, well, we're pissed off and fired up because the NBA, you don't have enough white players in it. Right? I mean, what kind of crap is that? Like, do we have some kind of a quota system that says we have to have, so many, I mean, I can think of times when there were so many damn black sitcoms on, and all the same, by the way, you just wanted to puke.
Like today. The WB lately?
The only good one of which, by the way, was the Jeffersons. The other ones all sucked like Good Times, even though we did like Esther Roll. Rest in pieces. But other than that, name me one other black sitcom that was good.
I'll get back to you.
I mean, we even had to put up with that goddamn Bill Cosby. How many 100 shows did he have? And each and every one of them sucked big time. And we already had I Love Lucy. That should cover you Julios for a long time, for several decades.
Bitching, do you?
Huh?
We're not bitching about that.
No, you got more other stupid things
We've
to
got our
worry
own
about.
channels, thank
you.
you.
Yeah, right. You got those goddamn novellas there, or whatever the hell they call those things at night. What do they call them?
Novellas.
Oh, yeah, like I said. That crap. All those fag shows. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. All this whining and carrying on, and we're going to sue, and everybody's suing everybody. That's the American effing way, baby. We don't like the fall lineup. See, forget about the fact that the shows all suck. Forget about the fact that the TV audience, the viewing audience, is forced to choose between crap on ABC and crap on NBC and worse crap on CBS. Forget about that. But we got to worry about the skin color. And you'll notice, by the way, that every commercial that comes on, we have to have, it's obligatory, you have to have so many Schwarzers in there and you have to have so many Julios in there. Every commercial that comes on now. Why? I hate to break the news to these people, but, maybe if you live in Detroit, you should have, like, your own programming. If you live in Detroit or maybe like St. Louis, and you should have to watch shows that have a lot of darker people in them. But if you live like in San Diego, or you live in Lansing, Michigan, although I guess they got a lot of Schwarzers there, they got to have that football and basketball team going. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day out there today, Neil.
It is?
Yeah, well.
Thought it was raining cats and dogs. I don't know. We're inside. We have no way to see.
No, it's just gorgeous. But I see once again you're fired up this morning. It's
yeah.
I mean, you sound like a real hate.
When do we get to the material, sir?
You sound like a real hate monger.
Then why do you listen to the show?
Because I happen to find you entertaining at times.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me tell you, I don't find your calls entertaining because every single one of them is the same. You find me entertaining at times. What are we talking about hate today? We're talking about bowel movements. We're talking about male models. We're talking about football players. What are we talking about hate? We're having a good time. You're just a one-note Charlie with the same sourpuss attitude. If it's a beautiful day out there, why don't you get out there and do something in it? Go out and play goddamn golf. Go play tennis. Go scuba diving. Go in the ocean for a while. Don't bother coming back out. Sure is a beautiful day. If it's a beautiful day, it sure as hell fools the hell out of me because the damn dish was out here for about 20 minutes earlier. It must have been pouring cats and dogs. I bet you it's hotter than hell out there. You know, it's the 16th of July. What a shock. We were having a good time until you called up and pissed it off for everybody else, sir. We were having a great time here. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yes, how you doing?
I was doing great till that jackass called in.
Yeah, well, schmuck. Listen, getting back to your TV deal, if you have a problem with that TV, I just recently purchased a Mitsubishi 50800 HD TV ready.
HD TV ready? That has to have the adapter?
Yeah, that's have the box.
Well, how much is that? About $6,000?
No, it was $3,500.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the picture is fabulous on the satellite. It's got 1,200 lines of resolution, even though the satellite only gives you about 700.
Mm-hmm.
The picture is absolutely fabulous, and it's a 50-inch. I mean, they make them up to 74-inch.
Yeah, 50 inches is enough for, my room isn't big enough for bigger than that. 53.
Yeah, I can't get it between the two windows, considering that my wife, got this silly thing that you got to put your CDs in and all that other stuff. But I have it running through my amplifier, a Yamaha 995, which is 100 watts per channel, and it is absolutely, I'm telling you, fabulous. When people come over here, and I put the TV on, and my other phone's ringing, but when I put the TV on, it rocks the house.
Right. Okay, better grab it. It might be Ed McMahon.
Yeah, well, thanks, Neil.
Okay, see ya. See, as soon as I said Ed McMahon, he said, well, good point. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T team either has $10 million or some sweet Budweiser, one or the other. Here's the Mobile in Coral Springs. Hello. Mobile in Coral Springs.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Okay.
I want to touch a little bit on that Tribute to God or Farewell to God book.
Yeah.
That review the other week. I got a feeling the reason why they came out with that review for that book was because you got so many people ordering that book that they're losing their flock. And they better get out now and debunk this book before any lemmings left going in there.
It sure was peculiar to see the size of the review with the big picture of the author and the whole deal there. I mean, it was like a half-a-page review. Yeah. And like I said before, it's so suspect that you've got the religion editor reviewing a book that's anti-religion. Where is there any possible credibility in what this guy has to say?
Exactly. And why do they have the religion guy there? Because they're losing their people.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't realize the Sun Sentinel was in the religion business.
Well, these papers now, they're in everything they can get their hands in.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I had to touch on.
And have a great day. Well, maybe they'd rather be in a religion business than the gambling business because they're sure anti-casino, so I guess they're more into all the God bull crap. Although they do like those escort services on the sport page. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
Great.
Wanted to know how you got talked into a Hitachi over a Sony XBR.
Because they don't carry them anymore at Art where I bought my set, and I just was impulsive like I always am. I already have a Sony XBR that I'm getting fixed next week.
Well, you've got a Corvette, right?
Two of them.
Okay. Well, if you traded your Corvette in for a Cavalier, that's what you just did with an XBR for a Hitachi.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
No, I've been around TVs for 21 years. I work for a Better Electronics dealer. We sell the Mitsubishis that guy was just talking about, and the XBRs too. There's not a better television on the market.
Well, let me ask you something. How come a big place like Mart doesn't have the XBR anymore? He says we don't carry them anymore.
Well, if I'm going to get beeped if I say the company's name, they're not allowed to carry the higher end because they're extremely large discounters. They try and hold the integrity of the product.
But that's where I bought my first XBR.
Yeah, but they don't carry them anymore because they would basically whore the prices out on exceptionally good televisions and sell them for the same thing you'd sell a average television.
So in other words, you're telling me that this Hitachi I bought is a piece of crap?
No, it's not a piece of crap. It's a good TV, but like in everything in life, there's a good, better, and a best. And you had the best, now you've got good or...
Well, it's not like I got rid of the XBR. It's sitting there waiting to get fixed.
Well, get it fixed. Get it fixed. You'll see the difference once you start watching it again.
So I'll stick the other one in the broom closet, I guess.
Question. You said something about good black TV shows that you hadn't seen any or couldn't remember any other than The Jeffersons.
Right.
What about Sanford and Son?
That was okay.
It wasn't a bad show.
Yeah, it was better than Bill Cosby.
Yeah, absolutely. Neil, thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, so he said the Hitachi is a piece of crap and I should put it on my hibachi and burn it, kill it, butcher it. Really depressed now. But that's what happens when you're impulsive and you walk in there and they say, well, we don't carry that anymore. But you trust people that you've done business with before and you assume that they're going to take good care of you. And then they sell you some piece of swill, which looks really good on a showroom floor because they got it hooked up to some laser disc and it looks like you'd reach in there and touch it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
I don't know about TVs, but my mom has a Hitachi rice cooker, and it's turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do on this TV this afternoon when I go home. I'm going to cook some minute rice on it.
And Neil, how about a more modern black sitcom? It's Martin. You don't like that?
What is it?
Martin?
Martin what?
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Borman?
No, Martin Lawrence.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of that. It's pretty good. It's on 11s on channel 33.
Oh, on 33. My set automatically blocks that out.
And speaking of brown things, I do stools, but my stools are like darker shades of brown. I don't know what that guy was talking about, camel color.
Yeah, you got problems,
weird.
baby. You better start watching what you're eating. If they're darker shades of brown, you got real problems. Better stop eating all that Mahatma rice. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. You made a bad mistake, Neil. You got suckered into another bad deal. Wouldn't be the first time. Boy, like I said, I'll just stick that in one of the side rooms and pretend that I didn't waste all that money buying it. Schmuck. That's me. I look in the mirror and I say schmuck. Delray Beach, hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
That last caller just stole my thunder with the Martin. It is pretty funny for a black entertainment show.
But I mean, why do we have to have a quota on how many Julios and how many Spartzers and how many everything else we have to have on television? What kind of nonsense is that?
I don't know. Did you ever?
Wouldn't you think that the leaders of the NAACP would have more important things to worry about than how many goddamn Spartzer TV shows we got coming on this fall?
Oh God!
What kind of crap is that?
BET station?
Got all these illiterate people running around reproducing like rabbits, and this guy's worried about the sitcom's going to be on TV this fall.
Have you heard or seen of the BET yet? The Black Entertainment?
Sure, of course.
What is it? They should, the white people should gang up on them. If we had our own whites only award show or whites only TV show or station, how do you think that would go over?
Well, let me ask you this. How about, well, wait a minute. How about MTV and Much Music? They both have these segments, these rap segments, where 99% of the videos that they show during those hours or however long they do, they're all black artists. Now, what would happen if they had segments on there where they only had white artists singing? The NAACP would be screaming foul, baby. They'd be having a nervous crap.
Hey, you know what happens to my TV when that comes on? It goes off. Hey, can I call somebody a douchebag?
Yeah.
I'm Dave, douchebag.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's have a quota. Let's have so many shows with Jews on it. Let's have so many shows with fags on it. Let's have how about Chinese shows? Have we got any Chinese shows? No. How about Yugoslavians? No. What the hell's wrong? They've had all those problems over there. They had to go through living hell. Do we have any shows to appease them? No. And like I said, other than old I Love Lucy reruns, we got any Hispanic shows? No. He's all bent out of shape about that, too, by the way. The NAACP guy. He threw that in, too, like he really cares about that, which he doesn't. Here's a mobile in Deerfield Beach. Hello?
Yeah. Hey, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, it's a beautiful day out. I'm on my way up to call my boss.
Yeah, that's what that other guy said. It's a beautiful day. That guy that always calls her with the same sourpuss.
No, listen, I'm on my way up to quit my job and call my boss a douchebag, so I am having a good day.
Good.
Anyways, I just want to vent a little bit. And Craig, if you're listening, you fag, I hope you choke on your lunch.
Okay. Okay, 567-0560. He says he hopes you choke on it and your lunch, too, is what he said. Choke on this.
No.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio.
See, that's a double rejoin there. What you just say. It's a double rejoin. It's a bunch of...
It's Friday, you bastard.
Crap. And speaking of crap, so the lovely Jason, by the way, from our sports producing department, just walks in here, and this is just before my lunch is going to arrive from Chuck. I'm ready to up Chuck at this point. I mean, it's one thing to be timely, okay, that's great. Okay, it fits right in with the topic of conversation in that great article I had from the Toronto Star, the scoop on poop. But do we really have to get quite that graphic? You know, I've talked about this before. I'm not one of those people who has the need. I'm not saying that I don't look, especially when it feels like maybe I've had one of those championship bananas that you're supposed to have. Those 4 times in my life. That's once every 12 years, 14 years. But I'm not one of those people who feels compelled to look behind me to see what I've left behind in the bowl before I send it on its merry way down the plumbing. But evidently Jason is one of those people who is obsessed with that. And by the way, I hate to break the news to you, Jason, but when you have a hook like that, it usually means hookworm, is what it usually tells you. He thought it was a J. It was a hook, as in hookworm. He brings in a Polaroid of a beautiful, lovely, perfect turd.
In the shape of a J.
In the shape of a J.
You turd.
Yeah.
He could have taken that to the county fair.
Now, of course, you really have to stop and wonder. Again, it's right in the middle of the lunch hour, 12:30 in the afternoon. I don't want to get too obsessed with this excretory activity here, but one has to really wonder how one eliminates a long turd in the shape of a J. I wouldn't be surprised on Monday if he brings one in the shape of the letter B. That would be kind of interesting. Huh? Yeah. And wait till on Tuesday he brings one in the shape of the letter Q, which I think will really be fascinating. Yeah. And on Wednesday when he brings in one in the shape of the letter M.
Alphabet soup.
Yeah, alphabet soup. There you go. Give me an M.
Oh!
Give me a J.
Oh!
God, give me a break. People it's one thing to look, but to take pictures of it, this I will grant you. See, I tell you, every day we learn something new on this show. It wasn't enough that we had all that fantastic, very valuable information about our bodily functions and the BMs, et cetera, and so on, and sinking and floating, et cetera, and banana-shaped and caramel-colored. But now we actually have people taking photographs of their own movements. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, the XBR, there's no comparison. What size was that you getting repaired?
53.
Oh, so they are projection TVs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a
I was thinking it was a regular direct view TV.
No.
Well, I've had one for years, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
What, an XBR?
Yeah.
It's a great set.
Oh, yeah, you can get them at Sound Advice, though. I know the place you're talking about, they don't have them, you know. They have that new Vega, which is an excellent-looking TV, too.
Yeah.
You know, the flat screen type?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But how big do they make those?
37.
Now, see, I want mine big.
Yeah.
Well, you know as well as I do, once you've had a real big screen, you don't want to go back and watch it. It looks like you're watching a postage stamp.
Yeah, that's true as far as viewing goes, but, you know, the picture quality is still the best in direct view. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, it's pretty tough to beat the XBR, though.
That's right. That's right. I guess
especially when you got the satellite
screen,
dish, you can reach right in there and patch them on the tochas.
Yeah, and on MTV2, that's 95% white rock and roll. That's why they got the MTV2.
Yeah, but they don't call it that.
They don't call it what?
White.
Oh no, but that's why the MTV2 exists.
But it
because
sucks.
Because of the other one.
But it sucks.
Well, if you want to watch just crazy rock and roll all day, that's what that is.
Yeah, like I said, it sucks. Okay, thanks, pal. MTV2, that's just, oh, God, it's kind of like that J that Jason just brought in. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Boynton Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil,
Yes, sir.
going back a ways, and it's hard to remember, but I think Amos and Andy wasn't too bad. But the real reason I called, I'm an airline pilot. Getting on an airplane the other day.
Not American, I hope.
Nope.
Oh, boy.
That's the Sky Nazis.
They sure have had some problems lately, boy. Smoke gets in your eyes, smoke gets in the cabin. It just, every time you turn around, Americans got another problem.
Hey, stuff happens. Anyway, I'm getting on this airplane, and there's a nicely dressed Afro-American gentleman getting on the airplane with me, and nice pair of slacks, nice golf shirt. On the shirt, it says a little logo, the Black American Pilots Association of America. I wonder what would happen if we started a white Airline Pilots Association of America. How long in? You got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to get your spin on that and let you know that there is a Black Pilots Association of America out there, and maybe we ought to try and join that thing and see how far we get.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great day. How about the Gay Pilots Association? In fact, maybe we can have a heterosexual flight attendants union. What would there be, like 4 members in that? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Yeah, Buddy Nevins, my close personal friend at the Sun Sentinel. Somebody just faxed me this, which I already clipped out of the paper, but thanks for reminding me. Kosher inspections challenged. Lawyer says program is unconstitutional. And he's right, by the way. Sam Fields, who is a non-practicing Jew, a Fort Lauderdale lawyer, political strategist, and curmudgeon, says kosher inspections by government are unkosher and unconstitutional. But on Thursday, a Broward advisory committee rejected an hour-long argument from Fields that county kosher inspections violate the separation of church and state. He is absolutely correct. If they want to have like somebody from the rabbinical council or whatever it is go around inspecting the chickens and the meat and all this other and peeing on it or whatever it is they do, that's their business. But to have the county or any government agency spending money to go around to make sure who's being naughty and nice and what's really kosher and what isn't is totally unacceptable. But, of course, Broward, being terrified and pandering to the old Jewish population there, the old Orthodox, are saying,
Boy!
Butt out. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good show, man. One thing that I like to say is that the NAACP, they're trying too hard not to be blacks, but just to be professional niggers. It's one thing to be Afro-American or being black or whatever, and another thing is trying to yourself by being a complete nigger.
Yeah.
You know, that's the bottom line. The same way that you have the Cuban foundations and the white American
Right.
this and the
Right.
black
That's
this
right.
and black that, the more they try to put it, you know, to make everybody the same, the more they separate from each other. You know, being black is what you are, it's not what you have to be.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay, lighten up. 567-0560, pound 560. Anybody know what he said?
No.
Lighten up. 567-0560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. The Hank Goldberg Show at 2. 6 o'clock, Donnie B talking baseball. 6:30 our pregame. The Marlins who pulled one out last night. Anybody excited about that?
No.
But they'll be at it again in Toronto at 7:05 tonight, whether you're ready or not. Here's Cooper City. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, as a black man, I think I just want to make a few points here. I think the whole thing that your white callers are missing is that, you know, I don't know, maybe you guys haven't been around long enough, but black people put up with a lot of crap,
Yeah.
you know, in this country. Okay.
Yeah, and so have Jews, and so have gays, and so have a lot of other minorities.
All right.
So Chicanos.
Well, still, the fact of the matter is that the NAACP is saying that, you know, more black people watch television during the primetime hours than white people.
Well, so what does that have to do with it? Don't black people eat spaghetti?
Yeah, but still,
Don't black people drink milk?
You're missing the point
So-
that,
no,
that
you're
black
mi-
people
you're
are
missing the
tired
point.
turning on the television and not seeing any black shows. Why
What
can't we have any
difference does
black
it make if
shows?
the shows are black or not?
And the point is that
You're not responding to my question. What difference does it make whether the people on the programs are black or not if they're good programs? Who cares?
Well, you're also saying that black people are out there reproducing like rabbits and that we're running wild too.
I didn't say running wild. I said reproducing like rabbits.
Oh, we're reproducing like rabbits, but we have a lower birth rate than both the Asians and the Hispanics in this country.
How about white people?
What about white people?
Lower birth rate?
No, we don't.
Oh.
But does that mean that we're reproducing like rabbits?
How about literacy rate?
But is that our fault?
Well, I mean, it's somebody's
Is it
fault.
our- is
It's
it
somebody's
our
fault.
fault? Is
And
it
as far
our
as
fault?
as far as I'm concerned, the NAACP should be a hell of a lot more worried about the quality of education that young black people
Yes,
are
we
getting
should be.
and the kinds
Yes,
of jobs
we
that young black
should. But
people
is
are
it-
qualified for, as opposed to worrying about what TV programs we got on.
Yes,
In
they
fact,
should,
they should
but
be
is it our-
they should be
is it our
encouraging young
fault
black
that-
people to turn TV off and go out there and read a book. That would be more productive.
Yeah, but is it our fault that the government doesn't give black schools enough money to put out decent equipment for students to learn, to hire good teachers?
Yeah. And let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. We could get into a real long, because I get really worked up about this stuff. When you talk about different neighborhoods and what happens and the schools deteriorate and degenerate because a lot of people move to the suburbs and the white kids are out of the school and it becomes mostly a ghettoized school. Let me ask you something. Why do people move out of those neighborhoods? Are they all racists?
No, they're not all racist.
Well, what happens to the neighborhoods?
But the fact of the matter is that a lot of white people today think that just black people are nothing but dope-pushing, ghetto-dwelling, welfare.
Anybody who thinks that is a moron. I never said that, but I'm talking about why do people move? Do decent, non-bigoted people move out of neighborhoods?
Because they're going to crap. But is that black people's fault? No.
Whose fault is it?
You know, it's not every black person's fault that, you know, maybe 5% of the population is out there dealing drugs and shooting each other.
Whose fault is it that neighborhoods that were once lived in by a lot of very wealthy people, when black people move into those neighborhoods in large numbers, whose fault is it that those neighborhoods often deteriorate and turn into slums? Is that white people's fault?
So you're saying it's black people's fault?
Yes, it is. It's whoever's living there's fault. That's correct.
Why is it their fault, though?
Well, who else is responsible for it? Did the dog do it? Who else is responsible?
Yeah, but also it has to do with the fact that a lot of white people just don't want to live next to black people.
Sir,
regardless of the
sir,
fact.
you're full of baloney. I have black people in my neighborhood. As long as people are able to keep their houses up and live like decent human beings, most white people, most any people, don't care about that. People don't want to live in slums.
Back in the,
I'm not talking about facts. I'm not talking about,
1960s.
sir, have a nice day. You can't deal with the facts, okay? You can't deal with reality. I'm not interested back in the 60s and the 50s. I'm talking right now. And I can take you on a tour of North Dade County. I can take you on a tour of parts of the city of Detroit where friends of mine used to live in what today would be $1 million houses in mansions that are all black neighborhoods now that have deteriorated, that are slums. Now, whose fault was that, sir? Did I do it? Did the Jews do it? Who did it? And where's this business about taking responsibility for your own behavior again? Whatever happened to that? But this guy, he's got it. It's everybody else's fault. It's not our fault. Get a brain. Get an education. You sound like a bright guy. You ought to understand that. 19 to 1 at 560 QAM. Selection service and a whole lot of savings is what you get when you shop at Appliance TV Depot. In fact, I should have gone. See, if I had any relation with John Penis, if I had a sales guy who took care of me, who had any kind of communication with us other than crap, I would have probably called our good friends at Appliance TV Depot and now wound up with a crappy TV set.
Hi, this is G. Gordon Liddy, and they don't come any worse than Neil Rogers.
I took a call from Ebonics. They say the future be bright for me. No. Now I can't get no job. 'Cause I don't got no literacy. I was talking like an old Negro. Ebonics taught me how this way. Now I can't do nothing. But my heritage say that's okay. Change my name to Shufro. Drive a deuce and a quarter in a Cadillac. I remember when I was stealing all the white man's cars, hanging outside the Belvedere bar, crying the blues out poverty. White devils got no job for me, and I thought Ebonics would give my life a change. Now I got to go and sell more crack cocaine, crack cocaine, crack cocaine, crack cocaine, crack cocaine, crack cocaine, crack cocaine. Crack cocaine, crack cocaine. Lordy, what a boring song. Ebonics makes me sound funny. Got nothing to do with literacy. Now I got to make more money. Labor food sounds good to me. I got plenty of nothing. Ebonics ain't getting me anywhere. Maybe I'll mug an old white bitch, steal a purse and full of hair. Then I'm gonna take some money, buy a stereo and a Frigidaire. I remember when I was stealing all the white man's cars, hanging outside the Belvedere bar, crying the blues out poverty. White devils got no job for me, and cry. Thought Ebonics would give my life a change. Now got to go and sell more crack cocaine, 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 crack cocaine.
1248 is 560 WQAM. Your Lily White station for the 90s. That guy just crossed my ass, you know. Everything is everybody else's fault. Take responsibility for your own actions, okay, sir? And I'm not talking about you taking responsibility for other people's actions, but how about them taking responsibility? And even if all the white people were bigoted and did want to move out of those neighborhoods, how come when you go back in a few months or in a couple of years, the neighborhood is totally disintegrated and deteriorated, and so many of the businesses have closed up or moved out? Why is that? Were all those people in business who had invested years? You know, I think of like when I lived in the North Dade at the Golden Glades there, Mary's Restaurant. God, was that a great place. Anybody here long enough to remember Mary's? No, of course not. Remember the Sub-Center with Chuck across the street because that's still there. How you doing, Chuck? Thank you, sir. But I mean, Mary's closed up. Why did that neighborhood change? Because the residents changed. Because the complexion of the neighborhood changed. Chuck's Steakhouse there on 441 up in Lauderhill. Or is that still Plantation on the, whatever that is on the west side? Long gone. And why? Because it's a change in neighborhood. Have you seen the condition of that neighborhood? It must be somebody else's fault. Everything is everybody else's fault, sir. Here's a mobile in Deerfield Beach. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was calling to tell you I can't understand what Jeb Bush and the majority of these state governments have against harness racing. 4 or 5 years ago, I went up to Foxborough, and the state had give the racetracks up there a lottery ticket to sell the track, and they keep the money.
Yeah.
Well, they wasn't planning on what it was going to produce. It ended up producing millions. So here comes some politician and said, well, the racetracks can't have this money. It needs to go to build roads and schools. So they took it away from the track. But for 40 years, how many roads and schools did harness racing build? It was one of the most overtaxed sports in the country.
Yeah.
So why won't Bush give the track the slots to try to save the
Because
business?
he's anti-gambling. You're asking me, or is it a rhetorical question? Because he's a goody two-shoes. Because he's a phony, born-again piece of crap. That's why.
So he's going to let the whole business die off then?
That's right. That's
He used to be
correct.
prosperous.
That is correct. Just like his predecessor would. You can mention Childs, you can mention Bush, and Buddy McKay wouldn't have been any different either. Because you're dealing with all a bunch of rednecks. That's Florida politics. They're a bunch of crackers.
And I guess parents stay away in New York and every place because they don't care about harness racing.
It's a dying sport, pal. I hate to break the news to you because I love it, but it's a dying sport.
And Neil, can I bring up one more thing? How come there's no Indian shows then? Everybody else wants to complain about
That's a good point. We don't even have the Lone Ranger back. Excellent point. Let's bring Tonto back.
Oh!
That's what I say. Boy, this looks really good. Steak, cheese, and onions. Too bad you're not hungry. What?
I'm not.
Okay.
I know. Whatever. Hey, great way to lose weight.
Whatever you say.
Maybe I have
Of course,
AIDS.
you're always sick anyway. You're even worse than Joe
Why do you keep
Costello.
saying that?
Because it's true.
There
You're
was a
always
brief
sick.
little period at the sick building where I was sick all the
Yeah.
time, and so was everybody
Yeah,
else.
you're always
but years before that and years since, I haven't called in sick once.
No, I'm
since
not
I've been
talking
here.
about calling in sick, but you just are not a healthy
That's
person.
not true.
It is true.
You're full of crap.
Well, that's beside the point. But I got a J working.
Hey, I got my whole initials. I got a monogram
I got
going
half
on.
of the alphabet working after I ate this great lunch from Chuck over at the Sub Center on the corner of 441 199th. A great place. Boy, they're great. Oh, this is good. Thank you so much. So even if you're not hungry, at least you came up with a good idea for my lunch. Here's Virginia Key. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Is this party talk?
Yeah, potty talk.
Hey, I was gonna talk about a story. You're talking about looking at your thing and all, and the porcelain.
Yeah, I've looked at my thing.
Yeah.
Pretty depressing.
I inspect mine all the time because it's true that depending on what you eat, that's how you tell if you're healthy or not inside. If you're eating the right stuff.
Yeah.
But I and also.
Are you healthy?
Well, most of the time, fortunately, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I eat a lot of junk food, and I can tell. I can tell when I drop my load in the bucket.
Yeah.
But you said somebody took a picture of one and showed it to you?
Yes.
I have a picture of one in my house.
Okay, great. Well, send it right over. I'm right on our second bite of lunch, okay? And we got turd talk. Second bite of lunch, a delicious lunch here. I got nice, perfect Atkins lunch. Sliced steak, onions, cheese melted all through it. Delicious. Nice going, Chuck.
They even sprinkled garlic on it.
Oh, and even a little garlic on it, too, which will make me really have a beauty. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a D. Yeah, you watch. I'm going to bring in pictures next week on Monday. It's going to be a D. Who's with a D? In fact, hey, that's a good idea. What we're going to do from now on, because we got some people who got really bad stomachs in this place anyway, don't flush. Of course, some people don't need the advice. Just don't flush in there next time you relieve yourselves in the restroom here. And what we'll do is have Jason run around with his Polaroid camera, and we'll take pictures of it. Okay, who cut the K? Who cut the T? Excellent. Here's a lady mobile in Aventura. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Neil. This is my first time calling. I wanted to just talk about a couple things that you had brought up. Number one, my husband is one of your disciples.
Great.
So he gets me listening to you all the time.
All right.
Yes, but two things here. First of all, I was listening to your conversation about bowel movements, and I got this great device for everybody to hear about that I actually got from the lady who does my colonics called a squatter. So when you're sitting on the toilet,
Yeah.
it actually lifts your feet up so people don't have to grunt. Because when people grunt, that's obviously how they get hemorrhoids a lot of the time. And if you're interested, I could tell you more about it.
It lifts your feet up?
Yeah, in other words, the way people in America...
In addition to which, I have never grunted in my life taking a bowel movement. I've been in public restrooms, and I hear these guys grunting, and I wonder what they're really doing in there. I've never grunted during a bowel movement in my life. And I've had some excruciating bowel movements, but I've never grunted.
Well, the whole purpose of this is if you look at how in third world countries people go to the bathroom, they squat. So in essence, that is the normal posture to be able to put your, remember you were talking about your colon being in a straight position instead of curved around like a cork.
Instead of being kinky, yeah.
Exactly.
Nothing worse than a kinky colon.
Well, we won't go into that place, right?
I hope not.
But anyway, so you put this device, and it actually just lifts your feet or your knees up higher, so you don't have to
I bet you Ricky Martin's been using one of those for years. They say his legs are usually up in the air, but anyway.
But anyway, I'm sick of Ricky Martin. But wait a minute, so I just wanted to tell you that. But one other thing is I'm a native South Floridian, grew up in Miami Beach and live in North Dade. And guess what I'm trying to do? Move!
Why is that?
For the exact same reason that you just mentioned.
Because your neighborhood is turning into a toilet?
Yeah, but you know something? In all fairness, I don't necessarily think it's about black and white. I really think it's about economic level. Because as the areas got older, people that could only afford cheaper houses have moved into this area, and they don't have the money to upkeep it. And it creates a cycle where people that have the money, and I'm not saying I'm a millionaire, but I have the money to move, have nothing on my mind but escaping from here and going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's the plight of what's happened in Dade, besides the fact I can't stand Dade County, just like what you talk about all the time.
Right.
So, anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts with you, and that's it. So
okay, keep those legs up in the air, sweetheart.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Radio 550,
It's the 1 to 2 hour.
It's time for Turd Talk, the show that gets to what's really deep down inside of you. And now here's your host, Colin Cornwallis.
Good evening. I'm Colin Cornwallis, your host, and welcome to Turd Talk. The loaf lines are already lit up, so let's just get right down to the phones. Let's see, who's on number 2? It's Steve. Steve, you're on the air.
Hi, Colin. I'm a first-time caller.
Ooh, all right. We got a little something for you, Steve. Hang on. So what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to let you know how much the wife and I enjoy the show, and hold on, let me get some paper here. Okay, I'm back.
So your wife loves the show. That's great. Tell me, Steve, you're wiping right now, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, when you wipe, do you prefer a forward stroke or a backward stroke?
I think I prefer a forward stroke. As a matter of fact, the wife was just saying,
what's the matter?
I think I just ripped the paper.
Oh, okay. How well did you get to wipe?
Well, I got it pretty good.
Okay, do you feel any pressure under your fingernails?
Yes, I do.
Oh, boy. Remain calm. You're having what we call a push-through. Did you get any penetration?
I think so.
Okay, just do as I say, and everything's going to be okay. Now, is there any clothing on the bathroom floor? You want to look for something dark-colored.
Okay, let me see.
Now, pull your finger out nice and slow so you don't get a flicking effect, okay?
Okay.
Is your finger out, Steve?
Yes.
Now, the first thing you want to ask yourself as you look at your finger is, has anybody in the house really made you mad today?
No, they haven't.
Okay, go ahead and wipe it off, Steve.
Oh, thank you, Colin. Keep up the good work.
Well, you are welcome. And thanks for listening. That's all the time we have for now. Until the next Turd Talk, I'm Colin Cornwallis.
This has been Turd Talk, the show that gets down to what you're really made of.
Okay, 2 minutes after 1 at 560 WQAM, 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil, how's it going, buddy?
Okay, sir.
Happy Friday to you. I just want to call in response to that other gentleman that called, and I would just like to comment. I grew up in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, and I'm a professional in Fort Lauderdale, and most of the neighborhoods I grew up were in predominantly black areas of Miami. And I would have to disagree that the problem is solely related to some of the inner city schools. I would have to say that in the inner city schools which I attended, most of the cases were that they had better equipment in teaching representatives than some of the predominantly white schools. And it seems that in some cases that they may cater to the inner city public in those avenues. And in response to what he said about as far as getting good teachers, like you said, a lot of times the neighborhood will go south, and these people start moving into the neighborhoods, white, black, whatever color they may be, and the neighborhood starts to go down. And I think myself personally that they fear for their safety, and that's why they can't get better teachers in some of those
But why
schools.
is that? Why do you think that is? Is that the white people's fault?
No, it's not. It's not the white people's fault at all. And if anything, it's up to the individual to care enough about themselves as a human being to want something better for themselves and strive to do something different. Like you said, pick up, read a book, go to school, try to do something to better yourself, rather than it's an easy way out to sit back and point fingers at, oh, it's the white man's fault, oh, it's the government's fault, and instead of look in the mirror and say, hey, it's my fault.
Amen.
That's all the material I have, Neil.
Okay, pal.
You have a good weekend, buddy.
You too.
All right, bye.
Reminds me of when I was living over there on, what the hell was the name of that joint? I don't want to mention the name because it'll be the wrong one. Right up on Sunrise, where I had the drug dealer living a couple of doors away, right next door. The one
Jacaranda?
No, definitely not Jacaranda. Was it Mayfair? No, it wasn't Mayfair. Well, Lakeview Courts, whatever it was. And at any rate, I had a guy that was a drug peddler living next door, and I told you all the stories. I would tell it on the air about this guy coming home and staggering and trying to aim the key at the keyhole, and about all the strange cars that used to come and go and the tracks that used to drive around and hang out in the neighborhood and buy their drugs from this guy. And then I get a call one day, oh, guess what? Your former neighbor, he's dead. Never made it to 40, by the way. And we have a crack house not too far from where I live either, which I'm not going to talk about specifically on the air because I value my safety, but nevertheless. So it isn't just a racial thing. But when you've got scumbags, when you've got people that have no kinds of values, who are drug dealers, who are sick, pathetic people living in your neighborhood, the quality of life starts going downhill and people start flying out. It's as simple as that. So don't blame somebody else for moving out. People want to live in a reasonably safe, rational neighborhood. Here's a mobile in Perrine. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
I'm listening.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Okay.
Listen, a couple of callers back, the lady was absolutely right. It is an economic thing about some certain neighborhoods. However, it's a racial thing, too. Why would all the white people move out of the neighborhood if a certain ethnic move in? Does that make any sense?
You tell me.
Well, I think it's racial, but however...
Oh, they must all be, in other words, they're all racist, they're all bigots?
Yes.
As soon as a couple of black people move in, is that why all the businesses move out?
I think so. You said it was, they're afraid for their safety. It's a perception, Neil.
So in other words, somebody that's invested their entire life in their business is going to pick up and move just because of the fact that they're afraid for their safety based on a perception?
Yes, it happened.
I don't believe it. I don't buy it for a minute.
Okay. You made a statement about the Jews suffering.
In addition to which, how come if people can afford to live in a neighborhood, if they can afford to live up to that level, how come they can't afford to subsidize those businesses and keep them in business?
They can't, Neil. If you look at the bigger picture, it's when they move in, the people with the money move out, so the lower class people move in, and that's when you have the neighborhood deterioration.
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me. How did those people afford to buy those pieces of property and those homes in the first place? Those condos, those houses, how could they afford them?
Because when the white people moved out,
But they didn't move out first. They didn't move out first. You're putting the chicken before the egg, sir.
No, what I'm saying, there was certain ethnics moved in, and then when they see that, they go, oh, March, there goes the neighborhood, and they move out, Neil.
No, I don't know that. I think you're crazy.
Okay, well, listen, you mentioned about the suffering, and the Jews suffered in this country, and the Hispanics, and the Indians. No ethnic group suffered more in this country besides the black man than the Indian.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, now, Neil, who suffered more other than the Indians than the black person?
Well, what is this? Another one of these comparative misery games?
No, but what I'm saying to you...
Let's make a quiz show out of it.
No, what I'm saying to you, we would have these problems if everybody treated everyone as individuals.
But they
and not
don't.
ethnic groups.
They don't.
You know, So this is why the NAACP is saying, why can't we have equal representation on the television network?
Well, but what difference does that make? Who cares about what's on the television networks? Who gives a crap about that? People don't respect black people more because we have more Jefferson shows on TV or more
right.
Good Times.
It shouldn't make a difference.
Any more than black people like white people anymore because we got All in the Family or whatever we got on, or Seinfeld. It doesn't make it. Television is meaningless.
It shouldn't make a
Television
difference.
is crap.
But right. But yesterday you had a call that said we have the Baboon Network. It's people like that. That's why this place is screwed up, Neil.
Yeah, well, then what do you expect? There aren't people out there like that?
You know, why can't we see people as people and not ethnics?
There you go. That's what I always say. That's my philosophy, but it's you and me, and that's it.
But, you know, like I told George earlier, I grew up in a Hispanic neighborhood.
Yeah.
Everybody treat everybody as human beings, you know. I just don't understand it. You know, and I hear a lot of white people calling in and go, oh, when I see them moving in, I get ready to haul ass or whatever. Exactly. That's the whole point. That's the point. Why can't you get to know the individual?
Yeah.
All right, man.
Okay, have a great day.
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes you don't want to get to know at the end of a gun, but 5670560, well, that's not a friendly way to meet, you know, under a lot of stress. Pound 560 on the Mobile One line.
Gordon gives South Florida a major blowjob.
All right.
If you had not but would you be a great big song? Is this OG? If your butt could compare with my embroidery, would you make money with your big honey? If it wasn't my done, would my career be done? And would this song become number one? Take a look at my rump, tell me if it was so nice. Would I be the star of the movie Out of Sight? Men look at me, and all they see, lying after me. They want to grab it all day. If you had my bus, would you have a limousine with a big backseat for your honey? And would you have more cash with a big old shapely ass up into your jeans?
Yeah.
I love my big cheese. If you had
Works for Jeff Popovich, I'll tell you that. So anyway, here's a fax from Mike, who's getting a little bit chronic on the fax machine, but thank you for the information, who says he was on his way to the studios to pick up tickets for the charity basketball game, which he won during Hank's show, but there's a major traffic jam on the Palmetto from Northwest 103rd Street in Hialeah to Coral Way. And govern yourselves accordingly. There you go, another every goddamn day this week. Every day this week, there's been a traffic nightmare. Even with half the town out of town, they still can't drive it straight, and a car either. So anyway, speaking of a great ass, let's go to Miramar. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, I've been listening to your show, and I always agree with you on everything, but I'm kind of confused about your attitude about the communities. And my question is, have you ever heard the term white flight?
Yeah.
And what do you think that means?
That means white people moving out when black people move in.
And why?
Why?
Why? Because they're a bunch of open-minded equalitarians?
Some of them are and some of them aren't. Because some of them are terrified of what's going to happen to their property value and what's going to happen to their neighborhoods.
Well, what happens is some of the black people...
Now, let me ask you something. Does it all happen like overnight? In other words, is the neighborhood all white on Friday, and then after the weekend on Monday, do we wake up and find that all the white people have moved out and all black people have replaced them?
No, that's the perception that you're giving. Like you can't...
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You said, don't pay attention to the 50s, don't pay attention to the 60s. What about today? Well, that ain't all happening today. It didn't just happen today.
Yeah.
What happens is, let's say a couple of black people who are accomplished get it together well enough that they can move to a nice neighborhood, and all of us want to live in a nice neighborhood. So they move in, so the white flight people, the bigots, they move out. They don't care what
they're all bigots, yeah.
They don't care.
Everybody who moves is a bigot.
If he's black, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay? So now what happens is everybody else sees that all of these people are selling their houses. What happens to the price of the house in some place where there's plenty of demand and not many buyers? They drop. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as they drop, then more of the black people are in a position to be able to afford the American dream.
Sir,
and they come
when
in
you
and
give me
buy
the
those
song and
houses.
dance about the American dream, I could tell you about neighborhoods like Palmer Woods and Palmer Park in Detroit, where I had friends when I went to college who used to live in neighborhoods where all millionaires lived. Those homes today would be worth in the $2 and $3 million range, and believe me, they didn't all move out overnight.
No,
and over a period of just a few years, not only have they been replaced by black people, the entire neighborhood is a slum. Homes that were multi-million-dollar homes have been turned into a ghetto, into a slum.
It's sad, but the white people who live there, if they just stuck in there...
No, what about
they
the
have
people
an
who stay
integrated
there?
society.
What about the people who live there and the way that they choose to live, sir?
The people who live there now?
Yes.
Well, what happens is the prices drop so low that these other
Sir,
people...
I got news for you. No, schleppers could never afford to buy those houses.
Well, what happens
Never.
What happens is they think they can afford them, but they can't afford to keep them up. They don't realize that because the prices are so low.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
Boy, I'll tell you, you're one of the greatest apologists I've ever heard in my life.
Well, that's not an apology. It's just, it's just the way things go.
Sir, I'm going to tell you
Look at
something.
one
You choose to keep your neighborhood the way you want to keep it. And if you have any pride and any self-respect, you keep it in a respectable way.
Well, you'd like to.
You would? How do you know? Are
You'd
you a
like
mind
to,
reader?
You as one individual can't.
Oh,
You are subjected to the will of the group.
Mm-hmm. And the will of the group is that we're going to live in a slum.
Well, when the bigots all move out, that's a pretty big
Okay,
group.
thank you, sir. You've said that 15 times, okay? All the bigots have moved out. My psychotic, hysterical, liberal friend living in the past. You're right. You are living in the 50s and 60s. We've had more than ample time for people to start seeing the difference between a forest and the deforest and the trees, okay? And don't give me a song and a dance about how schleppers came and bought these. Just the thought of it is ludicrous for anybody who knew that neighborhood or many other neighborhoods that were all over, cities all across the country. If you want to live in a neighborhood that's a slum and you want to behave in a certain way that chases people out, believe me, it's going to be very effective. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, how you doing today?
Okay.
Not kissing your butt. There's a lot of times I agree with you, a lot of times I don't agree with you, and I've been listening to you for over 20 years.
Yes, sir.
But a lot of these callers today, excuse me, are full of crap, if you
Mhm.
don't mind me saying
Well, we've
so.
had a lot of crap talk today.
For a simple reason why I have a lawsuit depending on me because of discrimination from Broward County, for the simple reason I did not rent a home to a Jamaican couple. The reason why I did not rent a home to a Jamaican couple was because they were solely on welfare, food stamps, etc.
Yeah, man.
He did not work. She worked as a temp, making $6.60 an hour. I was asking $940 a month rent. 2 days later, I get a phone call from Broward County Section 8. And I'm figuring, what the heck is Section 8? This gentleman tells me that he helps subsidize and pays for people's rent to help them out. May I come and look at your house?
Yeah.
I said, sure. Come on over. He looks at it and he says, well, listen, if you take the family room and you close off, put a door here and a door here, you can ask $1,000 a month rent. I says, well, yeah, you're probably right. He says, well, I tell you what, you close off the two doors, the room, charge these people $1,000 a month rent. Broward County, Section 8 will pay you $941 every month out of taxpayers' money, mailed directly to me, and the couple that lives in this home only has to come up with $59 a month of their own money. I ran him out of my house because I told him, hell, I could mow 2-3 yards for $59 a month and live here for $1,000.
Yeah.
Now, I refuse to rent it. I am now being sued for discrimination by this couple and the Section 8 program in Broward County.
Nice.
So it don't really matter. For $59 a buck, they can move into a $1,000 home.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to work. So what these callers are talking about, it's not our fault, their fault, or anybody's fault, except we're paying taxes and we're electing these damn politicians that keeps this crap up.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I would move into a place for $1,000 if I only had to come up with $59 a month.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So you can't blame these people for moving into so-called good neighborhoods.
Well, not in that case. Not in your case. Good luck to you, pal.
I appreciate it.
Don't take any crap.
I'm trying not to.
Okay. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's Miramar. Hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
two things. One, this idea of people moving into these homes and thinking that they can afford them when they can't. They're getting a mortgage. They're in there. I would think that once they're in the homes, if each person kept up their own home, whether it's black, white, green, or purple, the neighborhood would be fine. That's the first issue. The second issue is this Bush thing. Did you hear on the radio about him putting these stringent laws about accepting gifts, etc., and he went and got these Super Bowl tickets like 2 days later or 3 days later,
Yeah.
$1,700.
Yeah.
Did you talk about it?
I didn't talk about it. I mean, what's the point? He's a crook. I mean, he's a crook. His wife is a crook. What's the point?
The more
They're
you
all
tell-
crooks.
the more-
The former mayor of Plantation is a crook.
Just the more you tell people that these people are crooks, maybe one day it'll send
Oh,
the
yeah.
message home.
Okay, hold your breath.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay, watch out for that toad in the hole. Okay, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Yeah, I'm going to change the world here, baby.
Oh!
We keep telling them over and over again. Just keep rapping on this thing all year long, like Mandage says. Is that going to do it?
No.
No. We're going to change mankind here on some stupid-ass talk show?
No.
No. All this bullcrap, all this affirmative action, and all this other garbage, swill. Cut the crap already, okay? Go out there and get an education, get a brain, get a skill, get a decent job. Go out there and compete for it on equal footing with everybody else and stop everybody crying and whining and leaning on the government and blaming everybody else. Oh, it's all you racists out there who want to live in a decent neighborhood. Well, excuse us, okay? Excuse me. Here's a mobile in Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
My wife and I have been long admirers of your show and Phil Hendry and George, for that matter.
Are you sure?
Yes. Neil.
Yes.
I'd like to comment on something the gentleman before was talking about. In my building, there was 2 black tortilleras that moved in and
2 what?
Huh?
2 what?
2 black tortilleras.
That's good. Oh, the dikes.
Yeah.
Speak it English, pal.
Mm-hmm.
No hablo español.
Okay.
No take it pani.
Okay, I'm sorry. And it everybody was in an uproar, and the owners that sold to them were under tremendous pressure by the other owners not to. And it definitely drove the value down of the place, but they were nice people. I mean,
It
once
drove
you
the
got
value of the place down because there were 2 lesbians living there?
Yeah, well, you can see...
Based on what?
It's certain deterioration. I mean, because a lot of people just, they dipped. They just took off. They sold as soon as they saw that precedent being set there.
Well, that's interesting to me. I look at places like Beverly Hills and Coconut Grove down here, and places where, where there are gay people living in large numbers, didn't seem to drive the property value down.
Right, but I think it was the combination of both that just frightened everybody. They were like black, Hispanic, and...
black and Hispanic and dykes.
Right.
Woo!
Trifecta.
Man, they're in worse shape than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks for the good news.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, watch out for those dykes, baby. Of course, now that we got the WNBA coming to town.
Oh!
She's not a member of the heterosexual persuasion.
Capitol Records is proud to present the Elvis album everyone's been waiting for. It's Elvis in Seattle.
I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence. I'm getting hungry. Hey, Red, give me a cheeseburger, man, and see if the Colonel's got any leftover lasagna. I'm getting hungry.
That's right. The King of Rock and Roll is playing the Kingdom, and you've got a front row ticket.
Well, Jeremy spoke in class today.
Elvis covers all the great Seattle bands. Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and the one that started it all, Nirvana.
Oh, man, I'm a lotto, my mosquito. My libido.
Elvis is wearing flannel and rocking Seattle. Only on Capitol Records and Tape.
Man, SpaghettiOs, got some Cheetos, and some Povos, mashed potatoes.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. At 560 WQM, the Hank Goldberg Show at 2 o'clock. I'm getting ready to go home pretty soon and take a look at that crappy new TV I got. Well, am I depressed about that? But hey, a sucker is born every minute, and that goes to show you what happens when you trust other people and you're not discriminating and you don't take the time when you're lazy and you don't take the time to shop and get what you want. Which I'm the worst. I am the absolute worst. I have no sales resistance. I walk in, what do you got? And I've been lucky, you know, like with cars. I go up to Lou Back Road, and here's what you got. Okay. Or generally speaking, I'll tell them what color I want, and they get it for me. But that's about as much effort. I'm just not one of those people that wants to waste all my time running around. And, of course, if we had anybody here that would, you know, like Gary Sarner is he's the only good guy in the building.
Oh!
Gary Sarner. What? I mean, it's a little bit of a turnaround, but it's true. I'm easy. No, he didn't have to do that for me. He did it twice. Twice with that camera thing. Nice going, Gary. You find out who your real friends are about 18 months, 20 months later. And then you find out that John Penis, he's a real prick. Here's Doral. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
This is Mark. Listen, I got a couple of things to add here. Like the caller a couple of calls ago said, look at the man in the mirror. That's basically it right there. You know, you can start
That's what
blaming.
Michael Jackson said.
What's that?
I said that's what Michael Jackson said. And
You
take a
can
look
start
at him.
blaming everybody and everything, but you know what won't change your situation one
Right.
bit.
That's right. Absolutely correct, sir.
And I have noticed one thing. I was in the military. It's amazing how the military people actually get together in their communities, like on-base housing.
Yeah.
All the houses are well kept. You know what? You could have Oriental, blacks. It doesn't matter who your neighbors are. Everybody respects everybody because of the attitude.
Right.
And, you know, it's basically, there's no problem. I could live with anybody, but you're right. When somebody starts letting one place go and then another place starts going.
You know, it's interesting. A city like Toronto, which I'm always raving about because it's a great city and it really works and they got 4 million people there. Now, I will admit that they've got 2 or 3 different Chinatowns, and most of the Chinese people there live in those areas, and they also have, like, Middle Eastern Pakistanis. But you get on a subway and you go downtown, and there's all different kinds of people. There's Middle Eastern people and black people and white and Chinese, and everybody gets along. It's not like here, and there are no ghettos. I was reading an article a couple of days ago. It said if you went out of your way to look for a ghetto in Toronto, you couldn't find one. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. No, I've noticed one thing, the diversity strategy isn't working here. Everybody's basically fragmented. Nobody wants to know about anybody else, and everybody stays in their little groups, which basically, in essence, it's voluntary segregation.
Right.
And another thing...
Well, I still say, I mean, that one guy really pisses me off, that guy that was giving me his liberal song and dance about all the bigots. I don't think everybody is that bigoted that they go into break into a hot sweat as soon as a black person moves into the neighborhood. But when people move in who don't keep the property up or who cause your property values to go down, then of course people are going to start panicking and they're going to flee.
Absolutely. If you get no reason to panic, there is going to be nothing really changes.
Right.
Your neighbors aren't going to be living in their lawn. They're going to be living in the house. You actually don't even see them.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. And
Right.
2 more things quickly. I want to know when I'm going to see more whites in Hispanic televisions.
Exactly.
I'm pissed off.
I want more Chinese people on Channel 23, goddammit, on Univision. Have a great day, pal.
Yeah, and one more thing.
Yes.
Phil Henry is the absolute god.
Yeah, but wait a second.
Okay. See ya. Yeah, we have to have more goddamn Yugoslavian people on Channel 51, or we're going to start picketing and protesting. How do you like that? We're going to lay down in the middle of the NAACP's orifice. What a crock of crap. Oh, yeah, we don't have enough representation. Yeah, let's have a lot more Will Smith on there. That'll do it. That'll turn things around. Sure, turn me around real fast to get the remote so I can go to the next channel. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello? Lady in Miami. 25 minutes and 23 seconds later, and the lady in Miami is gone. Thanks for hanging on, sweetheart. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Mobile in Tamarack. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
We don't have enough representatives of midgets.
Yeah,
Listen.
that's right. How come we don't have Hervé Villachet just because he's dead?
We're going through the same
And Johnny
thing
Paleo.
up here in Tamarack. What happens is the old people die,
Yeah.
and the kids sell it for a song and a dance because they don't care if they're losing $10,000-$15,000, and it's just money in their pocket. So what happens as time goes by? The lower socioeconomic persuasion tends to move in as the price of the house goes
And the
down,
neighborhood turns to crap.
and it eventually
All those
turns
people
to,
keep moving out
and
of the
that's
trailer
it.
parks into Tamarack.
Listen, I have a request. Could you play the Ganji Be Good? Because I'm a chronic. I have no life and I'm out of material.
I'll work on it.
Okay, thanks.
See you. Didn't I just play that yesterday?
Uh-huh.
I'll work on it. Oh, by the way, somebody stole all that good weed we were going to have a party with yesterday and today, so we can't. 5670560. It was probably Jason. In fact, that was probably really not what you thought it was in the toilet. It was just a big J. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I know
What are
that
you
Cuban
screaming
thing-
about?
I'm sorry?
I said, what are you screaming about?
Oh, sorry about that.
There you go.
Hey, I know the Cubans are going to go, ay, 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 ay. But Hialeah used to be beautiful. They just don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I moved there 40 years ago,
Yes.
1957. It was beautiful.
Now I know what you're screaming about, yeah.
Little by little, it's gotten worse and worse. And then the people, it's not an economic thing or one way or the other. The people just don't give a damn. And little by little, the people that care say, you know, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere else.
Right.
And then eventually, you know, Little Haiti used to be Miami Shores.
That's right. Used to be
Same
very
thing. That
affluent, right.
That was beautiful. And, you know, look at it now. But the people who lived in Miami Shores
Yeah.
before the Haitians,
I don't
they
think
were all a
I don't
bunch of
think-
assholes
I don't
anyway.
think there used to be but there weren't as many diapers on the lawn back in those days.
No, that's true. That's true. And in closing,
Yes.
Alex Pinellas is a butt-sucking asshole douchebag.
Okay. Who belongs in jail, by the way, Mayor Pinga. That election is 2 weeks from yesterday on the 29th. I just want you to mark that on your calendar and keep it in mind.
No.
That's the word you need to keep in mind.
No.
To these lunatics, these grave robbers.
Hyperventilating.
Yes, I'm a malcontent Julio who floated into town. And when I read El Herald, I just can't put it down. Since all the gringos moved away, they ought to try to get the El Miami Herald to change its name instead to Miami Pandora. Miami Pandora. It makes my tongue roll and roll and roll and roll. And it's perfect for a town where there's no life to be found outside of what we do the best, like robbing ATMs and shooting tourists in the head. El Herald caters to the arrogant and hostile Julio. It's Camudista, this and that, that's all you need to know. I read it when I get a case of black bean squirts, and then I wipe my ass on my Guayabera shirt. The Miami Pandora, Miami Pandora. It makes my tongue the Miami Pandora, Miami Pandora. It makes my tongue We're a world-class city, aren't we? Yes, according to Channel 4 anyway.
It's the real world. With two really ugly people. Oh, he looks like John Belushi on a bad day, doesn't he?
Laura's a great person. I love her crazy ways. We're very much alike in certain ways. I don't know. I fell in love with her.
Oh. Well, I guess, you know, it's like the thing with the NAACP. We got to have some hours of television with some ugly people on there. We can't have just all beautiful people on MTV. We got to have some ugly people on there. And they're doing it. Just like that roadkill they got for this, Here's Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How
Yes,
you doing?
sir. Okay.
Well, I listen to the show all the time, and I agree with a lot of things you say. And then, you know, I like the fact that you let a person express if they disagree sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, what I think is blacks in well-to-do neighborhoods. This is a question that I haven't heard you ask. Blacks in well-to-do neighborhoods, and there's a few around here in the Miami area. How come the blacks that live in the well-to-do neighborhoods don't move out of the neighborhoods when other blacks move in or when other colors move in? Now, if any white people move in the neighborhoods, they don't just pick up and move out. They deal with the scenario. I think, if you ask me, one of the biggest criminals in our nation basically seem to me to be white people who stole from everywhere around the world, but when the people that they brought to this country decide that they want to move into their neighborhoods, then they get scared and they want to move out because they think the property value goes out. I think a reason why in the black neighborhoods that companies that the neighborhoods are not repaired so quickly once the white people move out and some blacks move in is because those companies that were there when the white people lived in those neighborhoods, they're not in such a rush to get to the neighborhoods anymore to fix things for the black people that live there.
Awesome. And again, it's the white people's doing it. It's the white painters and the white contractors and the white builders and the white carpenters and Karen Carpenter and Richard Carpenter.
In the black neighborhoods, you see a
Bobby
lot of black
Carpenter.
painters, black run-own businesses. In the white neighborhoods, you see blacks working in their neighborhoods too. But then all of a sudden, they want to get up and run out of the neighborhoods when blacks move in. They don't have an idea of if those blacks are prominent or if they're not. the spotlight becomes right on the black person.
Sir, I hate to break the news to you, but when you're in business, the overwhelming majority of rational people in business, if you've got money to subsidize them, to help them make a living, they don't care what your skin color is.
Well, see,
as long as you come in and you buy their crap and you pay the bill, they don't care.
Actually, they do care.
No, they don't care.
If Michael Jordan wasn't as rich as he was, no matter how much he gets up in society, he will still be considered a black person or the N-word to the white people who have money. If
Sir, I hate to break the news to you, sir, but people who consider black people niggers still think of Michael Jordan as a nigger, okay? No matter how much money he's got, no matter what his haircut is.
No matter what kind of money he gets.
So what does that mean? So what does that mean? In other words, it's only white people who are bigots?
Hey, there's many white people who are bigots, but blacks don't sit around thinking about white people. Blacks are thinking about how can they prosper.
So in other words, you're saying that there aren't any black racists? Is that what you're telling me, sir? It's only a white thing?
Okay, what I said was...
Is that what you're saying?
I think that black people do not have... We don't sit around and think about what white people are doing today or tomorrow. We don't sit around calling you guys all kind of derogatory names.
Bull crap, pal. Go look, the other guy said, look in the mirror and see if Michael's looking over your shoulder. Get out of here with that crap. This is a great lesson we're learning today. All you kids out there, white people are bad, white people are racist, white people are bigots, black people good, black people aren't racist, black people don't call white people names, you crackers you. You honkies you. Oh my God, I don't know whether to laugh or cry at that. I mean, and then to stop and think that this guy might really believe this bull crap. He couldn't possibly. But maybe there's a possibility that he's so brainwashed, that he's got himself so blocked off from reality, that he really believes this crap. It's only all you white people. You're the evil white bastard. Don't you understand? You get it? Here's a mobile in Davie. Hello.
Excuse me. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I just want to ask you a question, throw you off track here, because I've been on and off out of my car. Why don't you just return the TV?
I might. Well, I mean, I just got it. They just brought it this morning.
Right, but if you think you're unhappy with it, I'm sure everybody's got at least a 7-day minimum to bring something back.
I might.
Instead of saying you're going to put it in another room, just get something else.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just too easy, I'm just too much of a pushover.
Well, all right. What can I tell you?
Okay, you're right. Thank you. Your phone's crapping out, but thank you. Return the phone. No, he's right. I'm not going to sit back if it turns out that TV's a piece of crap and just keep it for crying out loud. I got a good deal on it, but who the hell wants a piece of crap for a good deal? What's the point? What's the big deal? I was telling George, we were thinking back to those first days when we came into downstairs on the second floor and started on the station a year ago, December 30th. And we needed a TV set to have some contact with the outside world, and we needed a satellite dish. And so Jeff Cohen brought us in the TV set with a built-in VCR, and our people at the satellite place called
Digital World Satellite.
Digital World Satellite were kind enough to donate to us the satellite receiver and the dish, the small dish, because we had, told months and months ahead, while I was in limbo, not working and getting paid by Paxson, months ahead we told them exactly what we needed. Oh, yeah, no problem. The sales department, they'll take care of it. They'll trade out. They'll get you a TV. They'll get the dish. Did they do it?
Okay.
No, they didn't do it. Would they have done it now?
No.
No, they still wouldn't have done it. In fact, if you recall, the only reason when they moved into this studio over here, the sports people, is that I embarrassed Greg Reed by threatening to reach into my own wallet and buying them a small dish, and he finally caved in, just like he did with Duff and his desk. That's the kind of guy that I'm working for, okay, ladies and gentlemen? A guy who is so cheap, who's got all of the Beasley's money and all of his wife's money, all that money, all those millions, but is such a cheap prick that I have to threaten to pay myself for something that doesn't even have anything to do with me in order to get him to go ahead and get it. Things that have to do with doing business. I remember that like it was yesterday. In fact, remember we had already made the deal. We had called up and arranged for the thing. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Greg was embarrassed when there was a satellite dish sitting there, which, of course, he made George Corso install because he wasn't going to pay somebody a few bucks for installation, God forbid. Cheap prick. And ever since then, so why should I assume that other than my good friend Gary Sarner, anybody else in this building who's going to, hook me up with any of our accounts, any of our good clients? We got good sponsors on this station. But I wind up going where I know people, where they've treated me good over the years, because if I go to John Penis, he's going to, you know what he's going to do? He's going to look me in the face and go, yeah, like that, if I can actually ever even get a hold of that piece of crap. That prick on legs.